Hello.
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 Hey.
Hello.
Welcome to the Lucky Hit Podcast, episode 66 on the 13th of April 2020. I'm just looking at the thumbnail. It says,
Only 1 6 short from the number of the beast.
God, no.
oh yeah. When we get to episode 66, that's
We're all
going
going to be old and grey by then.
It'll be the cursed number.
Oh, the PlayStation 12's coming out.
Hooray!
and the Xbox 111.
The Xbox binary code.
Yeah,
The XXX box, which you need to be 18 or over to play.
Most
How we
people
all
have
doing?
died before the age 18. I don't know. Yeah, how's it all going? I'm the Gagaman. If anyone wants to introduce themselves.
I'm Terrier.
I'm Murry Curry. Hello.
I'm SlevedGamer.
Hunk Thunder is here.
It's your boy, Big Elk, who's still not on the thumbnail. So if it bothers you that we have an odd number of hosts on this podcast, well, you don't have to worry because we haven't updated it with my face yet.
I haven't drawn your face yet, but you've been on 2 podcasts now, so you're officially part of the roster. Anyone that's been on more than twice usually gets a bit of art. That's usually how it works anyway, because
Yeah.
it and then it only gets used once.
Plus, it gives you something to do, really.
Excellent.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah. So yeah, I guess we should start with what we've been playing. I guess I don't know who wants to start.
Oh, just jumping straight into it.
Yeah, might as well. Oh, maybe we should mention the music played first. I don't know if Tom wants to chat about the music.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. Well, thanks for playing it for a start. I've been talking about getting on with my music for a long time. In fact, I mentioned it at the end of the last podcast, and that really made me think, yeah, get on with it. So trying to launch a new page, but I might end up putting the music related stuff on Lucky Hit anyway, because it just works. But yeah, that was my cover of the Columns 3 classic theme, which I believe plays somewhere in the campaign of Columns 3.
I must admit, I never got past the first level.
Yeah, I'm not very good at Columns 3 either.
Yeah,
But I love that. I've always loved that tune. I love the sort of electronic polka thing going on there, and it's a really good remix of that already funky tune from the first game. And yeah, I got working with it because I'm still learning the ropes on GarageBand. I've got a Mac last Christmas, sorry. And it's purely a music making laptop, and I've been sort of messing around with it, but I never had the discipline to just sit down and get on with it. So yeah, I've finally been doing it. And what's really great about video game covers is how I used to work with a program called Reason. And,
yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I still like that program, but yeah, basically, what was really good about video game music is you can find a decent MIDI, of which there are a lot of classic songs. And you can convert it into the software, and then you can use that to basically just learn the tracks. Like, it comes up with a little interface of the keyboard. And I wanted to see if GarageBand does it, and it does it much better. You literally all you do is drag the MIDI into the onto the screen, and it will just assign it pretty much with spot-on instruments and everything. So it's really easy to learn this song that I've been obsessed with for years. So yeah, I just sort of mixed it up with my own instruments and stuff, and there was actually some different things I want to do with it still, but I'm kind of happy with it. But the piano in the background, I'd rather that was an accordion, so it sounds more like a polka sort of thing. But I couldn't really. I haven't got one yet. I have to download the patch for it and all that. But yeah, I kind of like it. And yeah, that's probably going to be the first track I put on my music page, and finally get that up after years of talking about it. So yeah, that was my first track. I hope you liked it. Thanks for playing it.
Yeah, that's right. As soon as you sent it to me, I was like, yeah, we need. It'd be a nice thing to start the podcast with.
Yeah.
Wait, were we actually playing that track? I couldn't hear it.
Yeah, no, I was playing through the stream, but I wasn't playing it through our Discord chat. So.
I was worried that I was talking over it.
Oh no! I had the deafened while it was playing.
Yeah, I heard the playback,
Okay,
but I had to stop it because obviously we would have been delayed.
What was the song you said you were thinking of Tom, because I don't remember you said you had another one in plans.
Well, that's the thing.
I'm ambitious.
That's the thing. Like, if we're going to use them at the start of the podcast, that might be an extra push to help me get on with them. And the next one I was thinking of doing was Donkey Kong Country theme, that really funky little. But I got like a piano tutorial video up on YouTube, and I was just like, oh, no. Like, it's a lot more. It sounds like a nice simple melody, and the actual main melody is quite simple, but it's all the stuff in the background, man. So it might be that, or it might be I really like the Surf City theme from Battletoads on the Mega Drive, like the Mega Drive version of it, because the Mega Drive version's got really weird instruments for it.
I keep forgetting that game's also on the Mega Drive.
Yeah,
I used to have it. I ended up selling it, but I did have it.
I thought
it's going to be one of those two. Sorry, go on.
No, I just thought it was just only Battletoads and Double Dragon that came out for the Mega Drive. I didn't know they had a proper one.
Do you know what?
I keep forgetting that game exists, even though I actually owned the Super Nintendo version.
Yeah, same.
I think it even came out in Japan on the Mega Drive. I just remember the really expensive Japanese version. It's quite interesting. Yeah.
I suppose it would have had to, since it's also a Double Dragon game.
Yeah. Well, so the list of songs I want to do is there's a lot, basically. Most of them are Sega, if I'm being honest. But I don't know. Maybe people could get on the chat and request something, and if it's not horribly difficult, I'll give it a go.
Free bird, do free bird.
Play Darude Sandstorm.
You only need about 2 or 3 keys for that, so don't worry. I haven't actually got my keyboard set up, but I wanted to show you something really funny that I was messing about the other day, and I learned that silly coffin meme song.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to date this podcast.
Yeah. Cheers, Tom.
Is that meme with the dudes carrying that coffin and dancing?
I'm obsessed
I have
with
no
it.
idea what that is. I haven't even...
I only just heard of that recently. That is so weird.
I'll send you a link, Gagaman. I'll send you a link to a really good Yakuza-related one.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. I've seen that one too. That's how I first heard of it.
It's become my most obsessed meme. I absolutely love it.
Get in the coffin, Ihara.
It's mostly just when you mess up the QTEs. It speaks for itself, really. My favourite one was the one with the car.
Oh, yeah.
You're going 6 feet under.
I think my favorite one is the one with Akiyama. Akiyama getting shot during that exercise.
Yes.
Getting constantly.
Yes, because
a bunch of guys just wailing on him with Uzis.
I related to that on a personal level because I haven't got there on 5 yet, but I did do the exact same thing on 4. He does it to you on both those games, doesn't he? That trainer.
I've done that in 5. It is such a bitch to get through.
The only way I could do it in 4 was I just had to have all of my available inventory slots with healing items and just tenacity because it was just bollocks.
I don't even remember how I pulled it off.
So that's what I've been up to musically. I could probably go tell you what I've been playing because it's pretty quick, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'm still on Yakuza 5, but I haven't been hitting it as hard as as I had before because I'm getting a bit fatigued playing through these giant games back to back.
I can imagine.
I basically
finished. Blame you.
Yeah, I basically finished Kiryu's chapter, and I loved the way that ended. That was just mental in Yakuza 5. And then, we've been. I've been taking it kind of easy this week, a little bit more ESO. Just been watching stuff, but since last night watching the Gaga and Cherry stream, I got very, very addicted to a game that they recommended.
Yeah, I saw that coming as soon as I saw. Like we were playing it for about 5 minutes, and in the chat you just went, "I'm going to buy this." That's a good sign. And then I saw you were playing it on the Switch, and then this morning I think you were on there as well, and you've basically been on it all day.
All day. It's on right as I speak at the moment. 5CM Printer's playing it right now. She hasn't been off it for about 4 hours.
Yeah, I warned you. I did warn you. It's one of the most addictive puzzle games I have ever played. I don't know what it is about that game, but
honestly,
have you been mostly playing on casual, or have you been playing on
Oh, most of today we've been on normal, and I've been sort of getting the ropes, and because I've been learning on the normal, there's only normal and casual, isn't there? I don't think there's a hard mode.
No,
you don't need one. The game is really hard.
Yeah, it really does love to just drop down tiles that you don't want.
Yeah.
Like, you just say, right, I want a green. You gave me a grey. Cool. Great. Brilliant.
Yeah. Oh, so you've been listening mostly to the sad music then?
Yeah. Well,
charity music.
For the last few hours, we've gone on casual, and because of the brutal learning curve of normal, I can now practically feel the screen with these level 10. But I suppose just a brief description of the game. It's it's like a puzzle, drop down different color blocks. And they all have little buildings on them, and the idea is you level up the blocks by grouping together at least 2 or more of the same colour. And then what you want to do is you want to get these blocks to level 10, which is like a little skyscraper, and your population goes up. And that's your score, is your city's population, basically. And once you get to level 10, you can then combine the level 10s all together just once. And then they'll turn into like a superstructure, basically. So the idea is, you get all your level 10s grouped together as best as possible, and then you just make this like mega structure at the end. And I'll send you a screenshot later. But I'm close to getting the full. I think you need about 23 of the 25 available slots to make what. I don't know what happens. I want to know what happens. It just shows the picture of like the sky.
yeah, I want to know that as well. I think
maybe it just says you win.
Close, but not quite.
You got like 20 something, didn't you?
Yeah.
I got to it was level 28, so I don't know how many buildings.
Wow.
But it was like
33 is the top.
Basically, it was the full Tower of Babel with the star on top.
Do you know if the game has like a bag system?
A bag system? Well, in terms of drops and stuff?
Yeah, like Tetris will always recycle I think it's like 5 pieces, so you'll always guarantee to get that piece again. I'm
not sure. I think this one might be totally RNG, like random. Completely random.
Totally,
it seems like that.
Very random. In favour of just dropping stuff you really don't want all the time. In normal mode, it's just. Yeah,
I'm not sure if it does have any proper like algorithm behind it. I think it is quite random because it's a little indie game, but my god, is it good?
It's so good. We've been playing it since. I can't even remember when I bought it now. Sometime around January or December. I think
it was definitely around the new year.
Yeah, it was about.
Sure. I was still doing like a supermarket job then. So
yeah, I was actually taking my journey to work is only about 40 minutes, but I was taking my Switch on the tram, playing it on the tram, playing it in my 45-minute break. I was playing it all the bloody time. And Stacey was just playing it even more and just got way beyond me.
I haven't reached your scores yet, Stacey. Like I think my best was about a million.
You haven't seen my ones.
Oh yeah, you saw my score.
I saw some of the. Oh, I see. Right.
I saw my score. Stacey's are like 10 times that. They're ridiculous.
Oh yeah, we're nowhere near there. Yeah, I'm still
like 100 billion or something.
Yeah, I'm still eagle at the best. You get different like animal ranking depending on how you do.
Yeah,
well, it's like Metal Gear Solid basically.
Yeah.
I think it goes eagle and then dragon. I think.
Dragon class if it's over 50 million, I think.
Okay, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Well, you guys have encouraged me to buy it, so I'll give it a go after the podcast.
You'll love it.
This game is spreading. Like it's one of those word of mouth games. At this rate, I think everyone that gets involved is going to end up wanting to try it, especially if they like puzzle games.
It's on sale right now on the European eShop, so
that's right. It's like £2.20.
That's why I featured it yesterday because I wanted to. Because with that live stream, I do want to specifically feature games that are currently on sale rather than games that have been on sale. Because otherwise it would feel a little bit unfair to the developers because then people will be looking at it and going, oh, it's full price at the moment, I'll just wait.
Yeah.
But, if they want to buy it full price again, but I'm just saying.
Well, even full price, this game's like £4.50.
Exactly. It's not even expensive to start with.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind paying that for it. It's so good.
It's on the 3DS as well, I believe.
And Android as well, and PC.
It was originally an iPhone game.
I might be tempted to get a 3DS. No, actually, I don't. Just thinking about it, I don't really play my 3DS anymore.
Maybe a Steam version for when you're on.
That'll be good. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there is.
If it works on
Mac,
version.
most thing. Yeah, it's definitely on Steam. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
I just saw it. But yeah.
That's what I've been playing. So it's just to repeat, it's Sabara City, if I am pronouncing that correctly, and it's currently very, very cheap on eShop, and it's one of the most addictive games you'll ever play. Go get it!
Yep.
And Yakuza 5.
And Yakuza 5.
Yep.
Go get
it. I know Shelf Gamers told me that he's been playing something pretty current.
Yeah, do you want me to go into that now?
Yeah, you can if you want.
Yeah, okay, so yesterday I finished Final Fantasy 7.
The remake?
Yeah, the
You
remake.
finished it already?
Yeah, I finished it. I pretty much didn't stop playing until I was done.
Or as they should have.
Ooh,
Please
excellent.
don't tell me that means it's very short, though.
I paid. It was about 36 hours. My data.
Okay, that's not bad.
It's not bad. I mean,
Yeah,
that's pretty.
I mean, you
did-
could get. It doesn't. It takes a lot longer than that to get to the original. But for what this is, I suppose.
Well,
it's not
considering the
bad.
amount of like story that you cover is only mid.
Yeah, I know.
That's
It's only
not
a
That's not
Yeah.
really
It's only a
big secret.
fraction of
I've heard
Final
it's
Fantasy
about-
VII.
it's
From what
about
I've heard, it's only the entire part that takes place within Midgar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like 15% of the full.
It's like
story,
5
isn't it?
hours of the normal game, maybe less.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
sweet. They stretched it out, and some of it is padding, some of it isn't. You know, some of it is legitimate character building, and some of the quests are quite good.
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
And this is me having done all of like the stuff in the game, apart from obviously maxing every material in the game.
I
Yeah.
was about to ask if you went through all the side stuff.
Yeah, I've done all the side stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, I've done all of the quests, all of the mini games, all of that. Collected all of the songs and stuff like that. I just didn't max every materia. So there is more to do if you really want to grind out that materia, but not. I wouldn't say there's a metric ton more than that to do.
Not only that, but you don't really want to overlevel things like materia before the next part, do you?
I don't know how that's gonna play out, because like I say, I ended the game with like, it's quite easy to have like the max basic magic, and obviously if you walk into the next game with that, that's not going to work. So I suspect that when you carry over to the next game, they will do like a sort of, you're going to go back to level 1 again, and you might get some bonuses based on how well you did in the last game. I would assume.
Maybe. Yeah.
That would be my guess. I won't get into the plot, because obviously that is something that is big spoilers, but I will say that it's I don't know how to say it. Basically, it does stuff I like, it does stuff I really don't understand why they did it.
Right.
But also it did it in a way that doesn't make the other game completely redundant. It's not like one of these things where everyone's going to go, oh, this is the new Final Fantasy VII. They're both different.
Right.
So if you like the original game, it's still there. And the stuff.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is it's different enough from the original that.
It's very different.
See, that's what I wanted, because the original is always being stuff.
It's
You can
always
get it on
going
the
to be.
Switch.
If
and
you're going to
everything.
remake the game and you're going to play it through again, I mean, the original's still there. So if you're going to do something different, do something different. Now, it doesn't always land. I'm going to be completely honest. It does Kingdom Hearts it up a lot.
I heard that.
Oh.
I'm not going to lie. The plot it does go a bit Kingdom Heartsy, and I'm not going to really say specifics, but yeah. And I'm not sure.
Shows up. Mickey Mouse shows up.
I mean, the absurdity isn't quite that far off.
Spoilers. Wow.
Like, I'm not saying like there are absurd turn-ups. You think, oh, I can't believe they've done that, you know? And it's like, but because of the way that they've done it, you can still be like, okay, yeah, but in the context of this game, it's fine. Well, I say fine with massive quotation marks. So you know, I enjoyed my time with it. I didn't like all of it. I didn't hate any of it necessarily. I think, you know, solid 7 out of 10. You know, it was good. You know, so yeah, play it if you want some more Final Fantasy 7, but you know, if you're going to get upset about all the little changes, maybe stay far away, because there's a lot of that.
Yeah. Don't go on Meta. Don't be like the guys who went on Metacritic and put up a bunch of 0 scores saying this game blows because they turned it into Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be for everyone. I think people who got a kick out of the Final Fantasy 15 gameplay will probably like this just as much.
Yeah, that'll be me then.
Yeah, so
I
like,
was going to say you really love that.
I can
I
always
like
lend you
it.
my copy. I can always lend you my
15.
copy.
But
if you
then
want.
again, I also
Ooh, yes,
I also
please.
love Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
even if it
I like
was
the first
exactly
one.
like Kingdom
Yeah, I
Hearts,
like
I'd
the
be
first
cool
one,
with
yeah.
it.
so yeah. I think that's all I've been playing. So pretty much I've been basically just binging through that. But I have ordered for things I will be playing. I've ordered Fire Emblem Three Houses. I've finally got round to ordering a copy of that. And because of the whole thing, the thing that will not be mentioned is happening. It's going to slow to get here.
Yeah.
Fire Emblem, stay in your houses.
Yeah. And so I've also ordered Super Robot Wars X for the Switch. So
there's more than one on the Switch now.
there's 3.
Oh
Yeah.
wow!
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought there was only one so far.
Yeah, there's V, X, and T, or they're called the VTX series, and they're like completely separate games. Like the Cowboy Bebop's only in like T, but V doesn't have that. So yeah.
Is it kind of like a Pokemon game situation where they've got like the?
Yeah, unless there's like strictly a timeline, like the Z series is Z1, Z2, and Z3, and they are connected. But other than that, like these 3, they're completely like they've got recurring characters, but it's like their story's different. So it's like
they're completely different games.
Completely different games.
Variants of the same game.
Yeah, gameplay's virtually identical as they always are. They don't really change them much. So yeah. But yeah, I've ordered those, and yeah, that's about it really. So I played a bit of Killer 7, and that's it.
Cool.
Yeah, so maybe
cool.
Yeah, that's me.
I'm looking forward to 7 a lot. It looks pretty damn good.
I mean,
Same
I could maybe post it to you because obviously I can't get to you right now. So
Are you sure about that? You don't have to do that.
Well, I might give you something different to play if you're burnt out from Yakuza. So maybe I can do that.
I actually saw on Twitter a couple of people actually saying they quite a bit of inspiration from the Yakuza games with some of the stuff they've added to 7.
Oh yeah, like there's a darts mini game. It's so Yakuza.
Oh yeah, I saw the darts. That looks brilliant.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah.
And there's another mini game that is very much inspired by Yakuza 0, which may or may not include rhythm aspects.
It's just going to be
I've seen as well.
At the Honeybee Inn or something.
You would be correct.
Hey, that was a genuine guess, by the way. I didn't actually look that up.
I mean, if you don't care about spoilers, just look it up. It's hilarious.
No, I'm going to wait.
Yeah, I would.
Well, I already played through the entire Midgar area in the original game. In fact, it was after I got through that my memory card got erased. So I don't know everything that occurs after that, but I know everything that happens during this portion of the story.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, yeah.
Talking of weird mini games, I'm really sorry to bring this up. I know I've had my turn. I'm going to be very quick. I forgot to mention last week about Yakuza 4's table tennis mini game.
Oh yeah,
and how that is one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
That was so brilliant. It was also in Yakuza Dead Souls too.
Oh really? Basically, I thought.
Yeah. Yakuza Dead Souls features all of the mini games. I think all of them that were in Yakuza 4.
Yeah, it is essentially.
So it does have the table tennis thing as well.
Well, basically, what it is, right, is table tennis. I was thinking, oh, that's interesting. They put a new minigame in there, but it's basically just sex. Like, you level up your heat by finding time between the shots to stare at the opponent's chest, and they're always female. And then when you get a smash shot, you hit them in the breast.
Yeah.
I just want to play table tennis, man. Anyway, there we go. I just wanted to mention how that threw me for 10. I was not expecting
it's like
that.
table tennis if Master.
Nah, if you want to play table tennis on PlayStation 3, you get a PlayStation Move and you get Sports Champions. This is perv tennis.
Oh, really?
Men's tennis.
Yeah, but there's no
Men's
innuendo in
tennis.
that. There's no innuendos in that, so what's the point?
Nah,
You might as well be
but
playing
it is
everybody's
straight
golf.
table tennis.
Right.
So yeah, that's
Of course,
all
I'm
I've been
sure you're
playing.
not. Of course, I'm sure you're not playing the PS3 version of Yakuza 4. I mean, who would in 2020?
No,
Especially
obviously
when it
I'm playing the
costs more than-
remaster.
Yeah, the
The
remaster.
base game, yeah.
So yeah, sorry, I just wanted to mention that because I was kicking myself last week when I forgot to mention. Excellent.
Oh dear.
Who's next?
Yeah.
suppose I could.
Yeah.
Although
Yeah,
it's pretty much only been one game.
Animal Crossing.
And yeah,
Okay.
the thing
You were
is,
telling
just
me
Animal
earlier,
Crossing.
You were telling me earlier how you system on so you could make the hours go up to roughly the same as your mates.
yeah, yeah, just basically
So
so
with the kill kids, I need to play it too much as well.
yes. So
You
I'm
shouldn't have
kidding, I'm joking. No, he's
So
playing
lots-
loads, honest.
Yeah. Last week it was 55 hours played or more, according to because it can't give a proper, just an accurate amount of hours. But yeah, I'm up to 135 hours now.
Wait.
That's not the worst I've seen.
That's more than what I've put into Ultra Moon.
No, you're getting close to that.
But-
Yeah.
It's almost half of the time I've put into Splatoon 2.
The longest I've ever put in hours into a game is probably Morrowind, but I know that short second is GTA Online, which is currently sitting at over 2,000 hours.
Yeah,
Oh,
that sounds right. Considering,
I don't
like,
know
all
if
the
I've
previous-
ever put
all the
I don't know
previous
if I've
consoles,
ever put
almost every single one of
2,000
them.
hours into any game that I've ever played. And
The
I've
only
played a
thing-
lot of games.
I know Morrowind's higher than that, but it doesn't give you to like. I've got the one on Steam, but I started playing the Steam version very recently compared to all the other versions.
Yeah, so it's basically a guess. That game.
Yeah. I wish I
mean-
could tally it up.
The highest on my Steam, at least with regards to Steam, is Kerbal Space Program at 154 hours. That's the most. Then
That's-
Witcher 3 at 122.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, so I just get lost playing Kerbal. It's a bit sad.
No.
Literally lost.
I think Stardew Valley might be the one I put the most hours into on Twitch at the very least.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah,
I've
'cause
definitely
I
got a few
very,
clocked up.
I got very addicted to that about 2 years ago.
I think you had about
That's a
100
It's 100.
fantastic game.
150 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
Have you been playing it recently? Because they've had some more
Um,
updates.
Yeah, banana trees and that, haven't they?
Hmm.
I know about the multiplayer, but I haven't actually been playing it at all recently.
The
It was-
multiplayer's surprisingly good.
Apparently,
Yeah.
the patch added a lot of stuff. So it might
Yeah.
be
I was going to say
back
there's
in.
there's quite a few extra things actually because we whacked it on the other day and had a look and you can the old Jojo Mart that becomes abandoned you can turn
Oh,
that into
yeah.
you can turn that into like a theatre now or something like a
Oh,
movie theatre.
right.
Huh.
I think there's an extra dungeon as well, like an extra mine or something like that. I haven't even looked into all of it, but I was surprised to see that there was some quite a few new things actually. You can like renovate some of the
apparently-
houses and stuff in the
Apparently it was a
village.
patch that they added, like they've been working on for years or something.
Mm.
Like, they've just been like, right, we've just got truckloads of new stuff to just throw in for free. You know?
Because on my main run, and I've got a second run for like going the other way, but
Yeah, I still need to do that.
I went for setting up the community centre.
Yeah, that's what I
on-
did on the first run as well. Yeah,
Yeah. And I've
I think
got,
that's like the proper ending, isn't it?
yeah, like going, like doing the right thing and morally.
Yeah.
And, so I've got a second run, like sort of near the beginning, that I'm hoping to just like go the other way, become a evil corporation.
That's basically the Animal Crossing ending, isn't it? If you join the big corporation supermarket.
You just become Tom Nook. You just
Yeah.
become Tom Nook. You turn into him.
Sorry, Andrew.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. No, the only other thing I've tried to play, I actually dug out my PS2 because I've tried to see if, basically I've got 2 capture cards now, and
Oh, nice.
first capture card didn't work, whereas my other one does pick up a PS2 signal, and so I started playing some Beatmania and pop and music.
Yeah, I saw you were doing that.
nice.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, I saw your stream. Yeah.
Yeah, I need a bit of practice before going live again, but yeah,
That's
Pick it up
any
again.
rhythm game, though, isn't it?
yeah,
I haven't played for 5 minutes. Oh.
yeah.
Basically, yeah. Some of these games, if you don't play them for like a day,
Back to easy mode for you.
basically like Pio Pio, in other words.
Yes. Yeah.
The same way.
Unless you're me, in which case I just can't play Puyo.
Oh yeah, a small thing also of games that I've got coming is Bloodstained on PS4 because
Hey, nice.
I thought sod
A
it. I had it.
competent version.
Yeah, it was 13 quid, so I was like, I'm just going to double dip. I want.
Oh man, 13. That's.
I could try and source and see if that's still that price.
I'll have a look. But yeah, I do want to double dip and get PS4 because obviously I wanted to support the Switch version because Metroidvania games just work on
and it looks cool on the Switch, like having a Switch case and that.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it is a bit of a dodgy version. But, yeah. Anyway. We'll go back into that another time.
Yeah.
So yeah. No, it's just that I'm going back to my old arcade sort of
nice,
with the pop music and Beatmania. So I've got the controls for them. It's just that it is a tiny bit of a pain setting it all up, especially with my monitors. For some reason, one monitor won't work with the signal set from the PlayStation 2, and then one monitor won't work with my PC. And
oh god,
yeah,
sounds very familiar to what we had to put up with all the time.
I was about to say maybe its curse is here.
And trying to capture and play like rhythm games with any sort of input lag is probably not going to help either.
Well, yeah, exactly. I am trying to compensate for it. Plus, the CV I'm looking at, it's like a really cheapy, like supermarket one I've got for like £20 in a Black Friday sale, and it's not a good quality TV. Basically, the input lag.
And I imagine these games were from before rhythm games started including a built-in calibration tool.
Oh yeah,
because they are meant for
CRT
games.
The Guitar Hero and Rock Band series used to do that.
There's a good little workaround for that because I play them on HD TVs now. Plug it through the SCAR. Obviously, the pictures, but it does actually not come out of sync, even though it's on HD TV. Don't ask me how that works, but
I remember you doing that whenever we got rocked out at your house. You'd put your Xbox through the SCART cable, and
like it comes out in potato quality, but it looks, it doesn't lag or anything like that, or at least not too badly.
Some games are notorious with it, like Buster Groove.
Buster Groove.
I had Guitar Man on the PS2, but I was playing it through my original PlayStation 3 a while back, and the input lag through the emulation rendered that whole game unplayable. That was my first time playing it. I was like, I ended up getting the PSP version instead.
That's actually a really good version. I liked it.
It was much more playable.
Much more
that game is on PSP, isn't it?
Yeah, they got an extra song or something in there as well.
It's got 2 extra tracks, and I actually got on with it. I did hear that people didn't like that one too much, but I quite liked it.
I struggle with detection when you're using the analog stick, and it might just be because I hate the PSP analog stick.
It isn't great, is it?
It's not great. No.
It's worse than 3DS's.
I honestly didn't even realise it was an analog. Speaker, and I was like, why is this little speaker moving? It's like, oh, it moves a bit. It's like, oh, it's a stick.
Oh man, trying to play Darkstalkers on a PSP. That is.
I had that port at one point.
Hey, I used to make it work on my PSP.
They literally added a mode that basically made all the commands idiot-proof because it was the only way to do it and make it work.
Just press X and you'll do all this.
Yeah, don't do a Hadouken motion. Just press forward and X.
In fact, you know what? That Darkstalkers PSP game was the first fighting game I played where I actually learned to pull off the special move commands flawlessly.
On a PSP. Wow.
On a PSP. If you can do it there, you can do it anywhere.
So bad to the point. In America, they actually released Alpha 3 with a special attachment to the analog stick to make it playable.
Seriously?
Yeah, or
Wait,
it might have been or D-pad. Sorry.
Because I also had Street Fighter Alpha 3 on PSP, and I don't remember it coming with anything like that.
Yeah, because I remember at the time I really wanted it, but only America and I think maybe Japan got it as well. And it basically just a little thing that sits on top of your D-pad to make it a real D-pad.
That's amazing.
Real D-pad.
So yeah,
Excellent.
I have never heard of that thing before. Actually.
have a look up on it. Yeah, I haven't ever seen one in the flesh, so
Interesting. That's quite special.
Excellent.
now you can 3D print one.
Oh yeah, I guess you could. Yeah.
If you have a 3D.
If you
Yeah.
can afford one of those.
Excellent.
One of my old workplaces actually had a 3D printer, and they didn't do an awful lot of it though. It was just like a little like Game of Thrones related thing floating around. It's like, like red filament. So
Yeah.
a very, very basic one.
Alright.
Yeah.
Right.
So just a tiny bit of brand new news. Apparently, the final patch for Terraria will be coming out soon.
Oh yeah.
The final patch?
The
Well,
final,
they're gonna finish
yeah,
up with it.
Final patch.
it's called
I didn't
Journey.
know they
or
were still.
something.
I didn't know they were still patching Terraria.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Lewis.
Anyway, sorry, I've stopped this. Moving on.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I'm playing at the moment. Just,
Excellent.
yeah.
It's nice to see some old rhythm stuff going on. I'm afraid I missed that live stream.
Oh, it's only like 5 minutes. I actually stopped because
Oh.
I was I was terrible. I was literally
Oh.
missing keys like anything. So yeah,
Damn.
if you're going to practice and then come back and do
Excellent.
some like long streams.
Yeah. I still need to, get doing some streaming. I really do. It's easy enough to do on the Xbox, but it's through their mixer, which I'm not a big fan of. It's
Yeah.
big crap.
Hmm.
And I think I can sort it out to do it through the Lucky Hit YouTube or something on
that'd be good,
PlayStation. Yeah. I still need to look into it. I really do. I need to stop playing Yakuza and actually look into it. Or should I say, stop playing Savara City?
Yeah.
That's our fault. I'm sorry.
It's still on. It's still on.
I can just about hear it. I can.
Oh, let me know if it's making background noise.
No.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's the song. That's the one of two songs.
The other one's just depressing Mr. Bean. Wait till you hear it, Rick.
I know I kept going on about it on the stream last night.
Yeah, but it is.
Seriously does sound like a Brian Eno-esque charity advert music.
Yeah.
Just pay £2.69 and play any other video again. Video game, brother.
At least it does reflect
that sounds
how
like a
I
video
feel.
in the making.
Yes. It does
To
reflect
be honest,
how I feel when I'm trying to do
did
normal.
actually video review for this game. I might still go ahead with it. What I really wanted to do though, is go into a costume shop and get one of those little bowler hats.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then just have like it on a string and have it slowly come down onto my head and just be like, "You never." Yeah, I'll say it.
I think we've got Love Your Babes in Nottingham.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So we might be able to find a
shops
bowler
are
hat.
You might be able to find one.
Excellent. So, who's next?
Mind if
I
go
already-
next?
So,
Yeah, you go
It's-
next.
it's,
Sure.
it's gonna be quick because really and truly, I kind of relaxing myself on playing Ultramoon because it's come to a point now where I've completed the Pokédex and I'm just slowly working on the living decks now, which is basically having the Pokemon on you.
Oh, okay. So when you fill the Pokédex, that's just ones that you've seen or catched at some point, but the living dex is when you actually own.
Actually having them on you.
I see.
So mainly I've been focusing on them because the main difference between Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon is that there's an extra area called the Ultra Space Wilds. And it's like an extra mini game that you go through like a wormhole.
Oh, is that the gyroscope thing where you're moving the 3DS around? Because I quite often see you in bed just like
I did do that. But you do
Have
have
you
an
figured? Are you playing Face Raiders?
you do have an option to change the controls on that, and I think that's what I've done because
Oh, you just made it non-gyro.
yeah,
Oh, fair enough.
I do that with the 3DS version of Hang On.
Oh yeah.
Just lie down on my front and go.
yeah. The funny thing
That
about
was actually quite good.
Yeah, it's all right.
funny thing about gyro in way they use it in the Pokemon in general is there's a particular Pokemon that only evolves if you use the gyro to hold the console upside down. I believe it's Inkay, and it evolves into like one called Malamar. It's like a little jellyfish Pokemon. But that's the only way you can ever get it to evolve is to turn it upside down.
Nintendo just say to Game Freak, right, you have to make sure people have to use one of our gimmicks at some point in your game. Otherwise, don't even bother making
Sword and Shield is full of them.
Yeah, I was about to say
Pretty
Sword and
much.
Shield. I think that's the exact same thing with that Pokemon. You got to hold.
We have to find a way to force people to use these gimmicks.
Yeah.
There's
So make it so they have to use this just to get this Pokemon.
a few Pokemon do only evolve if you do certain things. Like I know with the only way to get that one is for your Eevee to have a fairy move and have 2 levels of affection, which is from using that Pokemon like Amy thing.
Oh,
Now when you pet it and feed it beans and stuff.
Feed it beans.
Yeah, the Sun
I
and
did hear that
Moon.
right.
Feed it beans.
This
Yeah, in Sun and Moon especially, they eat like beans.
Too good for berries.
this sounds like one of those things you wouldn't know if you didn't have a strategy guide.
Yeah.
Well,
Kind of,
I have been using like a Bulbapedia and Cerebi a lot for
Oh, are they like
Nice
Yeah,
resources.
resources
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
For,
some
you
of
know,
the stuff is
for how to do the
deliberately
things.
Yeah, I mean,
Some of the stuff
Surfetch in Sword and Shield, you have to score 3 hits in one battle.
3 critical hits, yeah.
Yeah, 3 critical hits. Yeah, sorry. It's a nightmare.
And you also have to waggle the Joy-Con. 6 minutes.
How did they come up with this stuff?
I suppose they have to figure something each time. It's like, ooh.
Got a curb emulation somehow.
Yeah,
Well, there's that. They're probably just like
yeah.
that room saying, just like, okay, what are some ridiculous things that people have talked about like years ago that we can bring back? And so, like, if you rotate the thumbstick like 3 times and
Hold down and B and all that.
yeah, it's ridiculous.
And then pat your head and rub your tummy while whistling row your boat
that's how you get Mew, isn't it?
without letting go of the controller.
Yeah.
No, you get Mew from under the truck. My uncle who works for Nintendo said that.
That's definitely it. That's how you do it.
It's alright, but Mew that's been picked up from like the rather infamous glitch is not legal according to Pokemon Bank.
You'll get arrested. The FBI will break into your house.
Not just that, but they'll just make
just that.
They'll make a space on your Pokemon home that's completely like unerasable. So
Fair enough.
And got to think, if you've got the paid subscription, it's 3,000 spaces, which seems like a lot. But if you got like hacked ones and they cause that space blocking to happen, then you're wasting it basically.
Oh, they just take up too many slots.
Yeah.
It's all very complicated.
But yeah, like I say, I'm sort of relaxing the amount of time I spend on the Ultra Moon. Though, trying to think what else I went back to other than Dr. Mario World.
You've been playing that daily since it came out.
Well, I had done. But with that game, very recently, they made a big change, which is because before it was a thing called the daily gift, which would be either like a certain amount of coins or like a random item.
Yeah.
But it wasn't very fair most days. Because like most days you'd only get like about 50 coins. and then occasionally get like more useful items like the capsule, like the extra capsules or the hammer. Or
In case you was wondering, Stacey's talking about the mobile Dr. Mario game.
yeah.
Oh, that's what Dr. Mario World was. I thought that was the WiiWare one.
Oh, no. I don't think that has it.
Oh,
It's a
no.
mobile game, so it's got daily stuff.
Yeah, I know what the mobile game is.
Yeah, you got really into that for the longest
Yeah,
time, didn't you?
pretty much since like July last year.
Yeah.
But what they changed that to now instead is a thing called the Daily Boost. So it's like a round where it's like a little survival mode where you basically eliminate as many viruses as possible and like to get as many coins and maybe a few Dr. Chips as well.
Dr. Chips.
Yeah, the Dr. Chips was something that got added.
You mean the robot from Catchphrase?
Is that his name?
Dr. Chips.
Mr. Chips,
Chips.
yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah. The Dr. Chips was something that also got patched in quite later on, where they're like special coins that you use only to buy the doctors with, and the doctors cost about 100 of those each, whereas conventionally a doctor or an assistant would be like about 4,000 coins each.
Yeah, it's kind of a gacha system, isn't it? You just get like and I think they've put like practically every conceivable Mario character you can think of, other than spin-off game ones. But they put stuff like, here's Fire Mario and Fire Peach and
Dr. Nabbit.
Dr. Nabbit is the latest one, I think. Oh, okay. You're getting a bit desperate now.
But yeah, I think the Daily Booster is a lot more fairer than what used
it's
to
got
be.
that song, that really
that
repetitive catch. It's literally like 3 notes.
Oh good.
But it's like on average, I've been able to do about 7 rounds. Though the highest I've done was about 10 rounds.
Oh, okay.
And that can yield you about 400 or 500 coins. And I think that is a lot much fairer than getting like, I don't know, what was it, 50 coins a day?
Oh, okay.
So that's the main thing that's got patched back into the game.
Maybe at some point we should see if we could set you up with Dr. Mario World on BlueStacks and maybe live stream that as another episode. I can't stop playing Dr. Mario.
I should be able
I'd love to know how many hours you put. It must be in the hundreds.
Oh, it'd be several hundred hours, much more than Stardew Valley.
Yeah, it might be one of the games you've played the most ever
Yeah,
at this point. I don't
even
know.
more baby Pokemon Go.
Yeah, maybe.
The Pokemon Go has had a lot of changes because of the thing.
The thing.
But there's still quite a lot of things happening to it as well. Like they put in a new today tab, which actually tells you what the events are now.
Maybe they should just patch it to be called Pokemon Don't Go.
Yeah.
Don't go.
And then it plays the
Pokemon Stay.
It plays the you. Oh, what's that song?
Yazoo.
Don't go.
They
by
can't-
Yazoo.
Yazoo.
Well, they can't call it Pokemon Home because they already have another thing called Pokemon Home that's coming out.
Yeah. Well, it's already been out.
Yeah, you've got. Yeah.
Oh, is it already out?
Yeah, you've got Home, you've got Bank, you've got.
Oh wait, is Pokemon Home? Is Pokemon Home the thing for transferring Pokemon from Pokemon Go or the 3DS games to your Switch games?
Yes.
Okay, I forgot that was called Pokemon Home.
It used to be Pokemon Bank, but it's all
it used to be
changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to let you know, Elk, I think your volume might be a little bit high on the.
It pinks a bit.
Just
Oh, really? Am I too loud? Hold on.
a little bit. Just a little bit. It's alright.
Sorry about that.
It's all
Yeah,
right.
there we go.
That's
That's
fine.
better.
That's better. Cool.
It's all good.
Oh, it's already fixed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Rude.
but,
It just sounded a lot louder.
yeah,
for a
it's
second.
that's basically the two things I've been playing.
Oh, okay. I think in the case of what I've been playing, I pretty much showed most of them yesterday on the live stream. But yeah, I've been buying a lot of really cheap Switch games lately because they've been having that spring sale, and because of that Deku Deals website, it keeps emailing me when a game goes on sale. It's like, oh, this game's 99p now. It's like, well, I guess I have to buy it.
Got
It's
to
been
grab Runner Free.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
that's like £1.30 or something silly at the moment.
Last time I saw it, it was like 89p.
I see that. Wow, okay.
I went for it as soon as it pretty much came up, and
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
it's just nice hearing Charles Martinet as a different character.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
can actually play as him, can't you?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's playable in Nursery.
Oh, excellent.
Little caricature of him, yeah.
I met him.
Because of the thing, like he was actually going to be in Nottingham for the East Midlands Con.
Oh,
NCon. Yeah.
Yes, but because they had to postpone the event to about sometime in the summer now, we don't know if that's going to mean he'll have to pull out of that now.
Oh, that's a
yeah.
shame.
But
I mean,
yeah,
Oh, man.
if you do get a chance,
He was a
Yes,
pretty charming person, like to meet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
to
we
meet
met him
for
once,
real.
didn't we?
Yeah, he was doing like a Nintendo promotion in a John Lewis somewhere in London.
That's how we got that little clip of him at the start of that Super
Yeah.
Mario 3.
I
Oh,
know.
yeah.
I know he was a
You're
bit.
watching Rocky.
Yeah, he was a bit funny about that one because we asked him to do like the bit trip round the thing, and
He's like, oh, I'm at a Nintendo event. I kind of need to do Mario stuff. It's
Yeah.
like, that's
Yeah.
fair.
Oh,
He's probably under
that's fair.
contract.
That's fair.
That would have been so cool.
he was still
He's a dragon from Skyrim.
he was still really he's a nice person in
He's
like to
bloody
meet.
lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. He's always on, isn't he? He's one of those people. Just he's always
Yeah.
he's always up for it, and you know, like he's just from what I've seen of, always has time for it,
but
which is really nice to see.
If I
Yeah.
was to follow, if I was a voice actor and I had to follow particular guidelines, I'd probably have to say things like that. No, but
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
because NDAs and all that.
that's right.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I really hope he does get to be like all the characters he normally is for the movie. Like, I hope they try to get some celebrity voice off it. I mean, it wouldn't be right. Yeah, Ben
Yeah.
Stiller is Mario. You can't
Yeah.
not have Charles Martinet at this point.
No,
he
it-
is Mario. He is literally and Luigi and Wario and
Well, I say Sonic's gone through multiple voice actors at this point, so it's not a big deal for him to
yeah,
change.
Yeah.
for him, it's not so big of a deal. But with Mario,
With Sonic, though, it happens like every decade or half. So
Yeah,
we're used
pretty
to it by
much,
this
yeah.
point.
he had at least
But
five,
Mario,
six
he's had
characters.
the same voice since like 1990, I don't know, 1994, 95.
something like that. Yeah.
I mean,
'Cause
I
he
think
was-
Mario 64 at least.
Mario 64 wasn't the first time
No, it
Charles
wasn't.
Martinet
No,
was
it was
I think
Mario.
it was one of those
Random.
PC games.
Yeah.
no, do you know what it was?
PC
Not
Mario's
to
missing?
mention-
No.
Was it the pinball machine?
It was the pinball machine. Yes.
Ah,
That's it.
Oh wow!
He
Oh
wasn't-
yeah,
Obviously,
yeah.
he wasn't credited as as Mario, and because obviously pinball machines don't have credits. But yeah, that was
Yeah.
the first Nintendo.
Not to mention, he was also voicing Mario at promotional events, like for trade shows or for promotional videotapes. Like,
Yeah.
He was even the voice of the cartoon Mario for a promotion for the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Mhm.
Oh boy.
Interesting.
So, Charles, if you're watching and you'd like to be on the
Which you
podcast-
are. We've had him in a couple of intros now, haven't we?
I think so. Yeah.
He's a regular
Yeah.
chum of ours.
Yeah.
For sure.
I've been to his house and everything. I haven't.
Made lots of spaghetti.
You know what they say? All toasters toast.
What? That wasn't even.
It wasn't, but you know, it felt it felt just right. You know.
It worked for me.
I mean, technically speaking, I think he's only ever eaten cake in the game. So, you know,
Yeah.
And he had to work his ass off for that.
Quite funny.
I can think of one game where he ate soup.
Hmm.
Yeah, all sorts of things in the Paper Mario games.
Did you know gaming one time, Mario?
Oh, and in the Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, originally he was eating stuff like mushrooms and syrup.
Syrup.
Oh yeah,
Like,
Yeah,
to be fair, he
he
does
was
eat
just
mushrooms.
eating. He was just drinking plain syrup straight out of the bottle.
Yeah,
This took a weird
What a
turn.
it's actually one of the health up items. So yeah,
Delicious corn syrup.
That's called glucose syrup over where we are.
Glucose syrup. At least your syrup. At least your name sounds a little more honest.
It's just glucose, honest.
It just has a label on the bottle that says "Just don't."
Your heart will explode. Just don't.
Just leave it out.
It's just called Leave It Out.
So it's like the neg
I think we've
version
got a
of
title
Mike.
for the podcast.
Oh god,
Leave
what
It
have I
Out
done?
syrup.
What have I done?
Oh boy. So yeah, we were.
And it has mostly been a lot of the games that I live streamed last night. Mostly that day and night game.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Oh,
actually
yeah.
quite addictive. That one.
I like the look of that one.
Yeah, it's basically kind of like Panel Dupont or Puzzle League, and you've got like a day and night cycle, and then the day and night panels will change back and forth, and then like you can create chains by cycle setting them up in the day, and then when it changes to night, all the night tiles will pop off and stuff like that.
I was watching you play that during that live stream.
Elk, you're
You peaked again.
Am I loud again?
Oh
Yes.
god!
I think you might be too close to the mic or something.
Oh,
What?
sorry.
I'm half a foot away from it.
It just goes up and down. But
All right. I might have to disconnect and mess with some things. I'll be
Oh,
back in a sec.
okay. No
Sorry.
worries.
No worries.
No, I
Sorry.
don't worry about
we
it.
can do some news stuff or something, can't we?
Yeah, we should probably move on to the
Go to
news,
the
I guess.
news.
Bing bong, and all that.
Yeah, so everyone had a go. Yeah,
yeah,
we were
bit out.
on you, Gagaman, weren't we?
Yeah, we are.
What you were playing?
Yeah, basically just the games I played on the stream last night.
Oh, right, of course,
Haven't
sorry,
seen it. Yeah, and also more Asphalt 9 because I've been playing daily still.
Oh yeah.
The one thing that kind of sucks about that game is they had with the daily things, like when you do so many daily tasks, it would unlock a card for a car, one of the cars in it. And I unlocked the car over like 30 cards or whatever. And then you start getting cards to start up that car and like make its stats better and make it so you can upgrade it more. And this car had up to like 4 stars. So it was like 4 times something like 30 odd days each time to star it up. So I fully starred up this car and I thought, right, now that I've done that I've done dailies for like the last 4 months and fully starred up this car. Is it going to give me another card that I star up? Nope.
Oh.
It's just giving me more for doing the dailies now. I was just like, oh, that's a bit of a wet fart. And I also found out that it's not quite as much incentive to play it every day now as there, because I'm not starring up a car, but at least I'm still getting tokens, which are handy, I guess. But also, I found out like I've been getting really frustrated with the online multiplayer lately. I just feel like I keep getting last all the time. Like as soon as the match starts, everyone just sort of pushes me to the side or smashes me into a wall, and then they'll just fly off into the sunset. And I was just like, how am I supposed to do anything other than be last? And then I was looking it up on like the Asphalt 9 Reddit and stuff, and apparently people are basically cheesing their way to the front because the game's got 2 different control schemes. It's got a traditional control scheme where it's just like driving like you would any other game, and then it's also got like a touch drive mode, which is almost like an RPG style mode. It comes out with like little buttons, and it's like, oh, you press this button to sort of like drive around or crash, it's like bump into someone and all stuff like that. It was because it was a smartphone. How the game played on there. You sort of tilted with the phone and then you like pressed things to like do drifts and stuff like that. And what people have found is when they play online, what they're doing is they're making sure they can overtake everyone at the start, while still playing the game, because you can't pause the game while you're online, I'm changing the control scheme to touch controls and then changing it back again, and somehow that's making them get much further ahead. And it's just like,
What?
So basically, people are cheesy. They're like abusing the fact that you change the style on the fly, because when you play the touch style controls, you don't really have to worry too much about actually driving, because it kind of sort of auto drives. So once people are driving traditionally into the front, they're just changing it to touch controls, and then they're just like pressing the buttons to drift and all this kind of stuff.
Just
Like,
coasting,
God's
basically.
sake.
so no wonder I couldn't get anywhere. I was like, it feels like everyone's just bullying me into the back and then just like disappearing, and I can't catch up with them no matter how I play it. And now I know why.
That's as bad as that Ridge Racer game that came out on PS3, where when you play online, you level up, your car gets faster the higher your level is.
Yeah, this game's the same kind of thing. It's got like up.
That's how GTA Online works. It's like you can use all the normal cars. So you get like a choice of, say, like muscle cars. You have to pick. They're all pretty much the same.
Yeah.
But if the default setting is you're allowed to use tuned up cars, and people can spend like up to $1 million in the game's currency to make their cars have turbo and go nuts. So if you haven't,
sort of do that in this, but I think there is a limit to how much you can.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah, they do have a peak, but you can like install. You get
Oh, you've gone there, Gagaman.
Oh, have I? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you cut out a bit there. At least for me, anyway.
Yeah, definitely as well. But I think you're fine now.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, basically, you can like add like parts to the cars, to like like that. But it's not. I wouldn't say it's like unbalanced in that respect, because you do.
It really is in GTA.
Most of the cars, like what they call blueprints, which are basically sort of races.
Yeah.
You do just like when you like open, you do just get like a thing. You might get another blueprint.
I think you've gone again.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll just reconnect.
Yeah, that worked last time, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Is that okay if I just reconnect?
Yeah, sure.
Yep.
We'll talk amongst ourselves.
So I'm doing some colouring while I'm.
Cool.
Hey, I'm back. Do I still sound too loud?
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that
you
sounds good.
sound good. Yeah, all good.
I'm back now, I think.
Okay.
Hello.
Yep, all
Everyone's
good.
back.
Right, cool.
I realized that I have headphones attached to my phone, and turns out my headphones have a microphone on them that I completely forgot about.
Maybe that's why it was going so loud.
Yeah, it's just every so often.
Yeah,
It wasn't all
I
the
guess
time.
I was pretty far from my phone, so I had to speak up, but I didn't. I didn't realize that I was speaking loudly into the microphone on my headphones. Sorry about that, everyone.
That's all right. That's
That's
fine.
fine. Yeah. So yeah,
No worries.
basically, still playing Asphalt 9 daily just to get all the extra tokens and stuff, and sometimes they are useful to have just to buy more, because there's basically two currencies, as you can imagine. It's a free game. They always have two currencies. There's basically blue tokens, and then there's just like coins, and you can use the tokens to buy more coins and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still playing that daily. It's still fun, even all the online feels like it's a bit cheesed at the moment, especially since, I don't know why, but since the patch a couple of weeks ago, the tournaments have been a lot harder to actually gain points on, to like get into like the gold league and stuff like that. Because I think because based on what position you get online, if you're like in first, you'll get like 40 points, and you need like 100 to go up to the next league. But I've been getting like either 0 or 2 points or -6 points all the time. It's just like,
Whoa.
I'm getting absolutely nowhere. Unless you're like in the top 3 now, you basically get next to nothing for even racing. It's just like,
Oh my god.
yeah, it kind of sucks a little bit, but it's kind of sucking some of the fun out of it. But I'm still working through all the single player content, which you still need to be online for some reason. But there's like all these challenges. There's basically, I think there's something like 1,400 challenges to get through. And I think I've done about 35% of them over the last few months. So I'm
Fair chunk of it.
chipping. Yeah, there's a ton of stuff to do. It is mostly the same kind of races. And then you get some races where you actually have to try and escape from like police cars and There's a few other
Oh,
different,
nice.
all different kinds of. It's very burnout. It's extremely burnout. I'd say.
Mhm.
Like it's definitely scratching that itch. At least until Burnout Paradise comes out on the Switch, which apparently it will now. So I'm looking forward to playing that for the third time because I had it on the PS3. I think I had it on Steam, and then I'll most definitely be getting that on the Switch as well.
Ah, yes, Burnout Paradise.
Love that game. I know a lot of Burnout purists are not as crazy on that one, but it's the one I played the most.
Nah.
I love that game.
So it's really the only Burnout I've ever played so far.
Yeah. Right, so I guess that's what we've been playing. I guess we shall go on to the news.
Well, I didn't talk about what I was playing. I was just waiting for everyone else to get through.
Oh, I thought. Oh, sorry. I thought you did.
Sorry. If there was anyone left.
Yeah, I was having trouble keeping track of who already spoke about the games they played. But anyway.
Oh, well, go for it.
Yeah, go.
Yeah, well, since I'm in quarantined in my house, and I thankfully never got rid of my Nintendo Wii, I've been exercising with that again. So I've been using this game called Gold's Gym Cardio Workout.
Mhm.
Oh, I don't think I've heard of that one.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you have Gold's Gyms in Europe.
No.
But it's a chain of fitness centers here in North America. Although I don't think I see them around anymore. But Gold's Gym Cardio Workout is essentially a rhythm boxing game.
Okay.
And
there
it's
are
my
a few
favorite.
of those.
There are a few. It's my favorite workout game on the Wii.
Okay.
Actually,
it might have come out over here under a different name.
Yeah, probably.
It might have. It might have. In fact, it's actually a Japanese game.
Originally.
Yeah, it was localized by Ubisoft, and I guess for the North American release anyway, they got the Gold's Gym license to attach to it.
It probably did come out over here then if it was Ubisoft.
I think there's at least 3 sequels to this game. There's most of them are Japan only. There's one more on the Wii. There's one on the Wii U. And then just recently, there was one on the Switch called Fitness Boxing, which was actually published by Nintendo.
Is it that serious?
Yeah, you probably heard of this.
I've heard of Fitness Boxing on the Switch. There was a demo.
Yeah,
of that.
Fitness
It
Boxing.
seems pretty good.
That Gold's Gym is exactly like Fitness Boxing, basically. Aside from having a more cartoonish presentation style, as well as some mini games that made use of the Wii balance board.
Oh, cool.
Which I unfortunately don't have anymore.
Oh, yeah, you should try and grab one again. Yeah. Well,
Not to mention it's what's also really annoying is that my old Wii remotes are having trouble keeping track of my punches. But the Wii Remote Plus. Yeah, but the Wii Remote Pluses that I got during the Wii U days are working perfectly fine with the game. So it's pretty much just those old Wii remotes showing their age. They can't detect motion the way they used to.
Huh.
Which is really sad to think about.
I didn't know that actually happened to him.
No.
Neither did I, but apparently it's happening with mine.
Oh, man.
I've still got... I think I've mostly just got Motion Plus controllers now. I don't think I have any traditional ones. I think
I've only got one of them.
I've got one
this old Wii remote I'm talking about is just an ordinary Wii remote without Motion Plus, but it does have a Motion. Excuse me. It does have a Motion Plus attached to it.
Oh yeah, that's what I've got. Yeah, I haven't got the full.
I've got one of the ones that has the attachment, and I have the one that came with Skyward Sword, the gold one.
Oh no!
Yeah, those things.
It's much less cumbersome when it's all in one, I think.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you're looking to work out with your Switch and you don't have Ring Fit Adventure, I would suggest giving Fitness Boxing a try, especially because it's not as famous as Ring Fit Adventure, so I doubt there's many people trying to scalp Fitness Boxing.
Yeah, probably not.
Plus, you don't need any accessories for that. It just uses the Joy-Cons.
I mean,
also there's also a free demo of it on the eShop.
There is, I tried it out. Yeah, it actually seemed quite good.
Yeah, so give it a shot.
I have to grab that at some point.
And
Ooh.
besides the games that I mentioned last time, like I've been going through even more of Rhythm Thief on the 3DS. I'm really starting to like that game a lot more.
Oh, nice.
And I've been playing on the Switch. I've been playing what is it called? Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom.
Oh,
I
love
really
that
want to
game.
play that.
I imported that from America because I wanted the physical.
Oh, I really want to.
Yeah, I got the physical version too. Did they not get that in Europe?
No, just digital
I
here.
don't know why.
Ah, sorry about that, fellas.
I have no idea
But-
why. I kept tweeting at the developer. It's like, you could just get a publisher that I'm sure there'll be plenty of publishers.
A 505
that would
game
jump at,
or something.
They would jump at the chance to publish that. Like,
Yeah.
easy, because the one
Yeah.
that came out over here, and it was a really nice version of it as well.
Oh, it's
like,
very
the
nice.
chain and all that.
You ever
Yeah,
notice that there's 4 Wonder Boys on the Switch?
Mhm.
In this game,
There's a lot.
there's
of
Wonder.
That's great for
There's
me.
There's Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap. There's
Sega Ages.
there's that Wonder Boy remix game. I forget what it's called, but it's a remake of the original.
Oh,
And then
Yeah.
of course there's Sega Ages Wonder Boy in Monsterland.
Yeah.
yeah.
You pretty
and-
much get almost every mainline Monster World game on the.
Well,
It's
and if
just
you get
miss-
the, you got the-
yeah, and if you get the wait, didn't they
Meg-
take the Wonder Boy games out of the Sega Genesis collection
no,
or Mega
some
Drive
reason.
collection?
Yeah.
No.
they're absent from that for some reason. No, they're
No,
not on there.
no, 4's on there, isn't it? Monster World 4. Pretty
Yeah.
sure.
No.
You're thinking.
No,
of
you're
Mega Drive
thinking of
Mini,
the
I think.
You're thinking
Oh,
of the
my-
Mega Drive Mini.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
Talking
got
about the,
2 and 4, that one,
Hmm.
which is nice.
Yeah, that thing's got Monster World 4 and Wonder Boy and Monster World, but I'm talking about the Genesis collection on Switch.
Oh,
Yeah, for
then,
some
yeah,
reason
yeah.
they took the Wonder Boy games off that. I don't know why.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Gotta
I
have
can't
Vector,
believe they
man.
did that. It's like every
Yeah.
time they port that
Vector Man
collection,
too.
every time they port that collection, it's got fewer games than it did the last port. I don't know what's up with that.
Yeah, those collections are weird. Plus, the one thing I hate about the Mega Drive collection on the Switch is you can't rebind the controls.
yeah.
If you use like one of those Mega
Yeah.
Drive style controllers, like the USB ones, on
That
there,
really
you can't-
sucks. I don't know
You
what
can't
happened
actually
there.
set the game up so A is A, B is B, and C is C. It's just like X is A is B, and B is C. It's like
And it's
that's terrible. Like,
it's a
I can't-
royal-
That's so messed up.
I can't play Mega Drive games with a Mega Drive controller like a Mega Drive controller on this collection because you can't rebind the bloody buttons.
Yeah, I mean, Shinobi 3 is such a nightmare to do the 6-button code on that.
Yeah.
Because you need a player 2, and it's just a tedious affair to do that on the collection.
Ah, jeez.
I wonder why they did that.
I don't know why it's a
Yeah,
code.
I know. It's weird because you can bind the controls just fine on the PC version.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know why they did that. I really keep hoping one day they might patch it, but it's obvious they never will.
No, they never will.
Yeah.
Really
But
kind of-
besides Monster Boy, which is really good, by the way,
Mhm.
I don't know if I mentioned that. I've also been playing the Konami Arcade Anniversary Collection.
Oh, those are great.
Oh,
Yeah, because
which one did you
ever
go?
since I watched Gagaman's stream where he was playing those Twin Bee games on Saturn
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
and the Parodius games, I really felt like playing those old Konami shooters again.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Of course, none of those same games are in this collection. It's let me see if I can remember the
It's
games.
the first
off the top
Twin
of my
Bee.
head. It's Scramble, Twin Bee, Gradius,
Gradius
Did
2.
it have Salamander?
Dracula's Castle for some strange reason.
Yeah, Haunted
Yeah, I'm
Castle.
not sure why that was not
Gradius-
on the Castlevania collection.
Yeah.
That is
What was it?
weird.
Ajax.
that's
Ajax
it,
is in there. Gradius
Hmm.
2, Go for No Yabo,
Mhm.
and
Okay, the best
Thunder
Gradius.
Yeah.
Thunder Cross. Sorry, I keep saying Thunder Force.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that all
and
of
then
them? on there?
what?
Is that all of the games on there? I think it is, isn't it?
It's quite
Yeah,
weird.
that's all of them.
Oh, that's not bad.
I wish there was more, especially because
Not
when you
bad,
look
though.
in that
Yeah.
special book, that special digital book in the game, they actually list a bunch more Konami games.
I think the reason they haven't done like for example, a Parodius collection, because I know there was a Parodius collection in Japan for the PSP, but they actually had to change a load of the music in it because a lot of the songs are just parodies of pop songs, and they had to actually the music. So that's maybe why those games haven't been re-released since.
Probably, yeah.
I would like.
And then, and then I've also since it's not part of the arcade collection, I've also been playing Arcade Archives versus Gradius.
Oh, is that the NES, the arcade version of the NES version?
Yeah, it's part of that series of versus arcade games where they're all based on NES hardware and are essentially conversions of the NES games.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do want to get the Castlevania one of that, even though it's brutally difficult.
They're all.
Yeah, I have to get that one too. I have most of the others.
Yeah. Yeah, talking to Haunted Castle, I grabbed that last year, just on the one the one that's on its own, isn't it?
The hamster version.
Yeah.
What versus Castlevania?
No, Haunted Castle. I wanted to finally finish that chore of a game.
Haunted Castle. Oh, that game blows.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Nah.
But, you know, I can say I've done it.
It did have nice remixes of its music for Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
Yeah, I mean, some of the tracks in it were great as they were, but yeah, the remixes on Smash are brilliant. I loved what was it called? Something in the ruins, like
I don't remember any of them by name.
It's called it's something like bollocks. Something in the ruins, but it's a really good. I know ruins is the name. No, underground melodies. That's what. Really good track, and they put it in Dawn of Sorrow on the DS, and they did such a good job of in there. And I was like, "Oh, a Haunted Castle track, you legends!"
You legends,
Yeah,
you've got
cool.
one of the few good things about that game, eh?
Yeah, I mean, if you could just listen to the soundtrack, that's most of the songs in that are good. Do you remember that really good one on the Wii? What was it called? Rebirth.
Yeah.
Castlevania: The Adventure Rebirth.
Yeah, the second stage of that has one of the Haunted Castle tracks. It's a really good version of that.
Incidentally, Konami needs to bring those over to the bloody.
Yeah, seeing as you can't buy them now, yeah.
Yeah, I had to buy them. I basically bought the rest of them just before they shut the shop down because.
I bought all of them too. Which reminds me,
just make a collection on the Switch. That'd be.
I really do.
Which reminds me, I've also been playing Gradius Rebirth quite a lot.
Oh, cool. Nice. Excellent.
Yeah. Most people don't talk about Gradius Rebirth, but I really like that one.
Most people didn't even know it existed.
No, yeah, most people didn't know it.
They
Yeah,
didn't exactly advertise it.
Yeah, most people only talk about Contra Rebirth and Castlevania: The Adventure Rebirth.
Mm-hmm.
It's like most people forgot about Gradius.
Yeah.
And then later on, and then when I get to hooking up my 360 again, I gotta play Otomedius Excellent again.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was kind of like their sort of attempt at bringing back the like pro.
It's pretty much like the spiritual successor to Parodius.
Kind of, yeah. In a sort of a bit more waifu-y, I suppose.
it was at a time when
Pretty much.
shmups were very underground again. It was like if you play Toho or like what's that shooter called? The Bullet Hells. Basically, everyone played Bullet Hells.
Death Smiles and stuff.
Death
Smiles.
Yeah.
Moochie Moochie Pork.
Dodonpachi and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, all three of those games were from Cave.
Yep.
And then what else?
I know what you mean, though. Like people just got stuck in that sort of phase for not phase, but that kind of thing for a while, didn't they? Where it was like, oh, they're all bullet hells.
Yeah. I mean, I do like.
They're all bullet hells, and they're all a little bit pervy.
Yeah. I mean, that's all,
like
that's all well and good, but I like you like your Fun 3 or 4 style games. You know, that those were hard, but not ridiculous for the sake of being ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
sure.
and then besides that, last night I turned on Fighting Vipers on the Sega Saturn again.
Oh, nice.
Just because it's in Judgment, and it's been a while since I played Fighting Vipers, so I wanted to get some practice with the characters again.
Screaming at that game. It's so difficult.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, but
Have you got the Japanese version with Pepsi Man?
yeah, Pepsi Man.
I don't actually.
Yeah,
I just have the North American version of Fighting Vipers.
Yeah, I think I'll have to play that on the stream sometime and show what happens when you unlock him, because the way it like slowly goes through the character select while the music's going do 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 do, and it just lands on his face, Pepsi Man. It's so good. It just like appears halfway through the arcade mode.
That's brilliant.
But what I like,
I think
what I
you have to
like
get, like,
about
a perfect on the first round or something.
but what I like about Fighting Vipers, which I completely forgot about until I was practicing with it yesterday, is that this game encourages you to jump around a little more. So it encourages you to like hop. So this is a thing that you could do in King of Fighters as well, where you just lightly tap up to
Short
hop.
Yeah,
Short hop, and then you can attack from that. So you take advantage of that to help you get in close with your opponents. And
you also sort of jump
it also
off
kind
walls
of
and stuff as well, can't you?
that's another thing. It encourages you to take advantage of the walls as well, not just to like hit your opponents into the walls, which is great because you can easily juggle them that way. But it's easy to forget that you can also climb on top of the walls and
That's
jump
actually
off
quite
of
hard
them.
to do. Yeah, I always forget.
All you have to do is jump into it and press up and punch. And then if you press punch, punch again, they do a diving stomp, which doesn't always hit. But if you don't press anything, they'll just jump off, and then you can do any number of jump kicks from the wall.
Yeah, it's almost like a whole cage, like wrestling cage match kind of situation, isn't it? It's like Virtual Fighter, but in a cage.
Yeah, I mean, Fighting Vipers popped on. Sorry, Karen.
Basically, you don't want to play Fighting Vipers the same way you would play Virtua Fighter. You'll get your ass kicked.
Exactly. It's a lot more like energetic and like, well, Virtua Fighter is energetic, but I mean, like Fighting Vipers is a bit more exaggerated and
Right. And then
that's the impression I got. Yeah.
And then you certainly don't want to play it the same way you would play Virtua Fighter 4 or 5.
No.
Because those games are a lot more grounded in their design.
Yeah.
And then the last game I'll talk about briefly is I've also been playing Blazing Heroes on Sega Saturn.
Oh, cool.
Blazing Heroes. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard of this game. Apparently, it was released first as Mystaria, The Realms of Lore.
That's it. That's what it came out as over here.
Yeah, and then at some point they had to re-release it with a different title. I'm guessing some kind of unforeseen copyright issue. Because I think
it's called Mystaria over here.
I think Mystaria is a thing in Dungeons and Dragons.
That might have been why.
Yeah, I think it was called Riglord Saga or something in Japan.
That's it.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I ended up liking the game a lot more than I thought I would.
Yeah, Fighting Viper's been on my radar a bit lately because I've been watching High School Girl, and that's been in it quite a bit.
Oh yes. Yeah, that came out this week, didn't it? Season 2.
Oh, it's so good.
It was like, High School Girls. High School Girls season 2 came out today. Oh, I've watched it all today. I literally
did they
watched they played Fighting Viper quite a bit.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Awesome.
There was a whole.
You have to watch that show.
It's a brilliant show. It's on Netflix at the moment. Yeah, I ended up watching the entire season pretty much in 2 sittings.
I'm sort of watching it with my girlfriend as she's watching it, so I haven't got too far in it. Yeah. But like I say, Fighting Vipers is pretty new in like the time, like because it's set during like the late 80s and early 90s. 3D games are starting to come out.
Yes, when they get to I think at the start of season 2, it's like 1996 or something like that. So it makes sense that they'd be playing stuff like Fighting Vipers.
Yeah,
more or less.
For a while on that.
Right.
That's everything, I think. Isn't it?
Yeah, that's everything I've been playing.
Nice.
So now we can move on to other things.
Yeah, an hour and a half later.
We've got to
cut those down.
We got carried away again.
We need like someone with an enforcer role. It's just like, right, go.
Yeah,
that Stardew.
I was on the Dreamcast Junkyard podcast a few days ago, and how snappy that was in comparison was like, right, moving on. It's just like, we were literally on that podcast for about 35 minutes, and we got through every subject.
What we need is that little wrap it up sign from the Dave Chappelle show.
Yeah.
So yeah, we gonna do some news stuff, or
yeah, we could
We'll
do,
get
or
some
just
bing
go into
bongs
one
going.
basically. Yeah, bing bong, bing bong.
Yeah, what's in the news?
Well, you know how secretive Sony have been about the PS5 at the moment. They had that whole stream thing where they just talked about the technical stuff, and it was just, didn't
Turned
really
into like a PC gamer thing, didn't it?
Yeah, they really didn't explain anything other than, oh, look, the sound's like 3D or something. It's just like, okay, yeah, well done. The bit that made me laugh the most in that is when they were showing all the like wireframed pictures of each console, and then when they got to the PS5, it was just a 3D logo of the PS5 logo. It's like, oh, that's what the console looks like. It's just a giant
like the
PS5 logo. Yeah, it's just a big PS5 logo. It's like that Capcom arcade stick, but PlayStation logo. I actually kind of want one of those.
yeah, except it doesn't have Aliens versus Predator on it. So
Oh, boy, it did. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
And it
I mean,
never
PlayStation.
will.
Yeah, the PlayStation 5 doesn't have Aliens versus Predator.
The PlayStation 5 will not play anything from before the PlayStation 4 either.
They just can't learn, can they?
No, they really can't. Like, I really hope they would at least put 1 and 2 back in, because 1 and 2 must be easy. 3 might be.
I'm hoping they'll at least start selling PlayStation 1 games and PlayStation 2 games on the
It's a
PlayStation
no-brainer,
Store
isn't
again.
It is
How
a
hard is it?
no-brainer. That will
It's
print
so
money.
Exactly. Like, I can live with them not. I can live with them not having backward compatibility with your old discs anymore, because those discs, they're going to rot eventually.
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
won't always be there.
No, definitely
But
emulate it. Yeah.
Yeah, but the way the Xbox
but
does
like
it is really good. Like, you put it in and then it
But
downloads
Nintendo
the game.
can. Nintendo, even though they don't give you as many games as they should, they are actually putting NES games on and SNES games on the Switch.
Yeah.
And if Sony can't do that, even though they'd already done it years ago, I don't know what's wrong with them.
Yeah. So
That's what makes
basically,
me laugh. Yeah.
with the PS5, they finally showed off an actual physical thing with it. They showed off the controller.
Yeah, the Dual Sense.
Yep.
Not the Dual Shock anymore. That's old news. This is Dual
Yeah.
Sense.
We can't shock people anymore. We have to sense them.
Yeah, Jake sense them.
Has
We have to
everyone
appeal-
seen what the DualSense looks like?
I haven't.
I've seen it.
Oh, I'll post it
Oh,
in
okay.
the in
Okay.
the
Yeah, good idea. Yeah.
YouTube thing.
It's essentially the same as
I'll have a butcher's.
but it's like white and black.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it looks kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's
I
You
have-
know
Alright.
what though? I like the color because I am completely sick of consoles being all black.
yeah,
I know I'm in the-
getting pretty bored with them all.
I know I'm in the minority here, but
I think
I'd
it looks
really like to
alright,
have.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'd
One
really
thing
like
I
to have
like
some
about
color
it
in my.
is the
I really
fact-
like some color in my consoles again, even if it's white.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. One thing I do quite like the look of the D-pad kind of looks like they're going back to the style of the older ones. Kind
Yeah.
of like it almost looks like the D-pad on the PSP a little.
Yeah, it does.
Maybe or maybe the Vita. It kind of reminds
Yeah,
me.
I think the directional buttons are a little closer in proximity than they were
They're
in the
not as
DualShock
big
4.
as the 4 ones. One thing I thought was quite funny is how they've got like options and like
Yeah. Share.
Although I think they have a new name for the share button. I think they call it Create now.
yeah, it's the
Create.
Create
Okay.
button. But what I quite like is it just looks like the honking from
Yeah.
Goose Game. It's
Oh,
like the
yeah,
honk
yeah.
button. It's just- I think people are just going to call it the
Yeah.
honk button at this
I
point.
can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
The C button.
Yeah. I have some mild concerns. But it could
Hmm.
just be the photos they give you. It looks like the buttons aren't very raised off the controller.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard
look-
to say from this. It's a bit of a flat picture, so it's a bit
Yeah.
hard to say from
Yeah,
that.
we only saw it from the front, didn't we?
There is one side angle one. I'll post that one as well.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. I didn't see the side angle picture.
They look very, very flat to me,
They kind of do actually.
Yeah.
and I'm worried about that. It's going to
Ah.
make it not very tactile.
Oh god, yeah.
The other thing that kind of throws me off a bit is the fact that they've actually taken the colours away from the shapes.
Yeah.
It actually took me coming from like Sega and Nintendo consoles and then buying PlayStation consoles for the first time. It took me forever to get used to those buttons. It's like, where's the square again? Where's the triangle again? I tried to memorize them by the colours instead of the shapes necessarily, or I tried to interpret them as, because I know the reason they did the shapes is like circle is 1, cross is 2, square is 4, and triangle is 3. With the amount of like lines in it, but I just weird that they've taken the colours off. They're just like grayscale now. So you all know what they are now. Just get used to it. But the main thing, because it wasn't exactly new news, because they did mention this quite a while back. But when they put these photos out, they also mentioned the fact that the I think it's the triggers are going to have like haptic feedback.
Yes.
So you actually sort of feel like
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of looking forward to seeing how
that'll drain the battery.
I think they use like
these controllers are probably going to cost about
£100 or something.
Yeah,
I think they use like a bow and arrow as an example. So like, say you're playing a new Tomb Raider game for PlayStation 5. When you make Lara draw the bow, it's supposed to provide more resistance as you're pressing down.
Yeah.
What I hope it kind of reminds me of, in like some arcade racing, like the steering wheels kind of have like feedback in a way. They sort of like when you hit a wall, the wheel actually sort of pushes you around a bit.
Takes your arms out.
I know. I have a steering wheel that does that. I just forget what the feature's called.
First time I played Scud Race when I was a kid, I did that video about that Sonic birthday party a while back.
Yeah,
that was the first time I played the arcade game Scud Race. Like the Sega arcade game, and
is that when you were shouting, "He's cutting his cake"?
Yeah. I was playing Scud Race at the exact same time. Yeah, because they had like a tournament for it where you could win, I think, a copy of Sonic Art or something if you got a really good time on Scud Race. So I gave it one go, and it was the first time I ever experienced that pushback with the wheel. And I thought the game was broken. I was like, why does the wheel keep doing this? I can't control it. Because I was a dumb kid. I don't know how cars work, And I was just like, why is this steering wheel like going off on its own? I didn't understand what was going on, so obviously I was just dreadful.
I mean, I've got the.
I'm just playing it on the Saturn and just using the D-pad, but it's the first time I used like a steering wheel in a game, and I was like, "What's going on?"
Well, I've got one of those Steam controller things, and they are terrible, but they do have haptic feedback, and it is pretty cool. Yeah, they have it on.
Oh, really?
On the little mouse
disc.
disc.
Is there many games?
Because it has like it's like programmable, I guess you could say.
Okay.
And it acts as a sort of a resistance because it's not a real analog stick, is it? And it makes you. It provides feedback to give you a sense of how close to the center you are.
I see. Oh, interesting.
And it's pretty cool.
I'd really like to try one sometime just to get the gist of it. Because looking at it, you really can't tell how it works just by looking at it. It's like what?
It's not great, but it's a very interesting novelty. Glad I got mine for cheap, is what I'll say.
Yeah,
that's kind of how I feel about it. Like, I've heard nothing but not glowing reviews about it, but I would like to give it a go if I can pick it up for very little. Yeah.
I actually have a Steam controller. I've never used it yet, and the only reason I have it is because my brother bought one a long time ago, and then when he moved out, he left the controller behind, so I took it.
Well, I got it when they had that sale and they were selling them for like a 10, and I managed to get one. And it does. The cool thing is you can program it to have like a little turn on and turn off button, and you can have it play a little Portal theme, I guess, which is when you turn it on. But that's about as far as the novelty goes.
That does sound pretty neat, though.
Yeah, it does.
So we don't really know that much about. I mean, this is pretty much the first example of an actual physical item involving 5 so far that we've seen. So this will
we still not seen the console. We've only seen that dev kit which
Yeah.
is probably not reflective of what
Very
the
unlikely.
consumer
No, very
console will
unlikely,
look
no.
like.
I surely hope it isn't.
and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
it's not
USB-C.
like- It's not
Yeah, I
like the
was about to say,
Dreamcast looked
yeah.
like a. It's not like the Dreamcast looked like a PC tower just because the dev console looked like one.
Exactly. Yeah.
True.
Not like the
that's
Xbox.
that's another good thing about the PS5 controller. It has USB-C, so
Yeah.
no fiddling about with like the USB getting it around anymore.
Oh yeah.
It's still got
Yeah,
a,
that's true.
but it looks a bit more. It looks bigger to me. Like the
Yeah.
touchpad. Yeah. I wonder
does
if they'll
look
add
a
some extra stuff to that as well.
It does look a little more filled in. That's why people are comparing it to Xbox controllers.
It's
Yeah.
definitely got a bit of the form factor of the control for sure, which is probably a wise.
It looks like
thing
an Ouya controller to me.
Oh god.
Oh god.
Oh no!
Oh my gosh.
I can't unsee it now. You completely ruined
Thanks
it
a
now.
lot, man.
You have to put the back. You have to open up where the D-pad is to put the batteries in. Bloody Ouya controller.
Oh, that was a thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, that came and went. Do you remember some people were really adamant about how that was the future of games?
Yeah.
I remember I was looking forward to it, but thankfully I didn't back the Kickstarter. Only because
Nor
it
did
was
I.
making so much money, I thought it would do just fine without a cent of me.
Exactly,
Dodged a
yeah.
bullet there.
Well, if it's going to be a revolution, I'll be able to get one eventually. But
Yeah, speaking of controller announcements, not only have we just seen the PS5 one, what's his name again? 8-bit though,
Is it
was it
Retro
Retro?
Retro
Retro.
Bit.
I always get the two confused, but
Yeah, me
basically
too.
they're finally starting to show off their new Dreamcast controllers that they're
Mhm.
making.
Oh, the
And what
retro
I-
bit controller.
Yes, what I really love about this is unlike the Saturn and the Mega Drive one, basically exact replicas of the originals, this one they're actually improving.
Oh,
on the
yeah.
Dreamcast controller. So there's a little, if you have a look in the Discord, there's a picture of it, but basically they're adding 6 buttons at the front instead of 4, so it's like a Saturn controller.
Okay.
It's got a better D-pad, more in line with like the Mega Drive and Sega Saturn one.
Mm.
And they've repositioned the analog sticks slightly, so they're a bit less painful to use.
yeah,
Oh, I see
They're
like a
making the-
blueprint. Yeah.
They
yeah.
haven't shown
They're
the
making the
actual
controller
item yet.
the exact way that Sega should have made it from the very start.
Well, yeah, basically.
All it needs now is a second analog stick, but none of the games were coded with that in mind, so I'll let it slide.
Apparently, the Dreamcast does have code in it where it can actually recognize a second stick, which is obviously
Maybe they were planning to do Virtual
Oh.
One on the dream on there at some point.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you
I
can-
remember Dreamcast Junkyard interviewed Bernie Stolar, a former president of Sega of America, who was involved with the construction of the Dreamcast. And I remember he said that the top 3 things he wanted in the Dreamcast were built-in internet connectivity, DVD playback, and a second analog stick for
We
the
got one of those
controllers.
things.
He could only
Yeah,
get
he got
he could
one of
only
them.
get one in the he could only get one in the end, and guess which one that was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Second analog stick. Hey.
But I'm pretty sure he also mentioned that he wanted to add in controllers with extra analog sticks as well as a DVD function as add-ons for the system later on.
It's
Which
quite
never came to
interesting
be,
when you
so-
think about it, because the internet was definitely a revolution for the Dreamcast. It was definitely the first console that properly did the internet, and it paved the
Yeah.
way for stuff like Xbox
Yeah.
Live and stuff like
So I
that.
get
But when you think
So
about
I
it,
guess
DVD playback, maybe not so much the second analog stick, that probably wouldn't have really been a massive deal. But the DVD playback might have turned the tides a little bit for the
Well,
It
that's-
probably would have, because I
that
mean that's
is-
what every
that
console
was the
has
main
now.
reason people. Plus, it was the main reason people bought a PlayStation 2 early on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it's
It
why
was
I
the
got one.
cheapest DVD player on the market at the time, so everyone was buying that because it was like, oh, it's cheaper than buying a DVD player. And
Yeah.
and
They
it
did that with
Yeah.
the PS3 as well, didn't they? That was like
Yeah,
the
they
cheap
made it,
Blu-ray
yeah.
player.
in a way,
exactly.
yeah.
It's what
Right.
single-handedly killed HD DVD or whatever it was called.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
I
the fact
remember
that
those.
Sony
But I-
put Blu-ray
but I
in
guess-
PS3.
Yeah.
But I guess
Mm.
Bernie Stolar or whoever made the decision in the end, they thought internet was going to be a much bigger thing in the long run than
way.
DVD.
I mean, they
Way.
were wrong.
Yeah,
in
but
a,
just not
in
for
a way, I
Dreamcast.
mean, they were already they were already working on Phantasy Star Online, and Blizzard was going to put World of Warcraft, then known as Warcraft Online, in the Dreamcast. And then when they dropped out of the console market, they just made it a PC exclusive. Because this was before Sony launched the network and hard drive adapter for the PS2, along with Final Fantasy XI. So that wasn't really too much of a thing with PlayStation 2.
Yeah, there was online stuff on the PS2, but it was never really as big a deal, was it? It was there,
No,
but I don't think that many people...
In Europe, we didn't get anything really.
No, I mean, it was used so little that when we got Resident Evil Outbreak, you just didn't have the option to go online with it. So that's how little they worried about it over here. Like,
there is actually a way to play that online now.
Oh yeah, haven't people been working on that?
Yeah, I won't talk about it here, but yeah, there are ways to play Outbreak online. So
yeah, I heard something about that.
Yeah,
I've heard about that too. Actually, that is a thing.
I would like to try that because I actually really like those games.
Maybe we could do it as a group sometime. That'd be cool.
Yeah, but anyway, back to the Dreamcast controller. They said they were going to launch that in late 2020, so later this year, right?
Yeah.
And that's assuming the CV doesn't get in the way with production.
Yeah.
Not to mention that whenever Retrobit gives a release date for these things, it always comes like a season afterwards. So
years afterwards.
You probably
they are still planning that because they also had a Sega Saturn controller with 2 analog sticks planned, and they announced it years ago. And I think they did show it off at a couple of trade shows, but apparently
they did. They were going to make new 3D Saturn pads.
But it's I'm still waiting for that because that for me would probably be the perfect controller. Just the Saturn controller with 2 analog sticks, that'll do. That's all I need, and maybe like 4 triggers.
Wait! You're talking about those Bluetooth controllers, which are just
the
a normal
Saturn
Genesis
controller.
and Saturn controller, but with the analog sticks and the extra shoulder buttons.
Yes.
Because they were up for pre-order.
That for me would be the perfect controller. That's all I need.
I'm still waiting on those
D-pad
too.
on it. As long as it's got a Saturn caliber D-pad on it and it's got
Well, I love my Saturn pad that they released. I love it.
Yes, I've got the
yes. I have pretty much every type of controller they released so far, except for the 2.4 gigahertz Genesis controller. And the Bluetooth controllers.
I've got the Bluetooth one, but then I've also put the adapter that lets you play it on the Mega Drive, and it also lets you use any other Bluetooth controller drive. So if you wanted, not that you would want to, but you can actually like hook up like a Wii remote or PS4 controller or an Xbox One controller to the Mega Drive.
Yeah, or a Switch controller. Yeah, those all work.
Yeah, I'm not seeing those controllers up for pre-order anymore, so I don't know.
Yeah, they are apparently still in the process of making them, but I think the manufacturing's just sort of gotten in the way, and they've just had
because of the pathogen.
Yeah.
And
currently, for any American listeners, Limited Run Games is also selling the Bluetooth Saturn controllers, and if you get those controllers from them, it comes with a 25th anniversary Sega Saturn sticker.
Oh, nice.
Sticker.
Yeah.
And if you buy from the UK, you have way too much postage.
Yes. And customs.
So you better love that sticker.
Love it real good.
Honestly, I don't even know where you can buy those controllers if you live in Europe.
Amazon
I know what.
sell them.
I think Amazon.
Okay. There's Amazon UK. I don't know if there's anyone else.
I don't know.
So, seeing as there's been so much controller news this week, I was just wondering. I was just going to ask around the thing. What is everyone's absolute favorite controller? And if there was only one controller they could use for every game ever, what would it be?
That's a really good question.
That's tough on multiple levels.
Tough. That's really hard. Blimey.
Actually, I already know my answer. The GameCube controller.
Good choice.
You're one of those.
Yeah.
I actually don't mind.
I'm one of
those. No.
But
I can't imagine using it for everything, but
although admittedly that controller would be much better if it had the Saturn's D-pad. and the D-pad was bigger than it normally is on a stock GameCube controller.
But not just talking about like official console controllers, not like these 8-bit dough ones.
No.
Of all the controllers that have ever been official ones, what would you say is probably the most comfortable and the nicest one you've ever?
For me, it would be a toss-up between the SNES and maybe the PS2. I really like those two.
Okay, yeah,
Quite
SNES is
simple.
probably up there for me as
Yeah,
Yeah.
SNES is
incredibly
SNES.
comfortable.
It's solid, isn't it, SNES? I don't really see any
It's
of
got a
those that
nice-
break.
It's got a really nice feel to it. Like the actual plastic of it is really,
Yeah,
I don't know, comfortable. It's really weird to say.
Exactly,
But like,
yeah.
Like the L and R triggers have got a nice sort of softness to them, and
That's why
I think the
one
only
thing
thing
I
I'm
loved
not
about the
crazy-
classic.
The only
How
thing
good
I'm
they-
not crazy about on the SNES controller is the start and select buttons. I just think they're a little bit
It's
small
spongy.
and it's
Spongy, yeah.
spongy
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the angle they're at makes them a little bit awkward. But other
That's
than
why I
that-
prefer PS2 over the 3 and 4, because
Okay.
I love the PS4 controller except for the tiny little start buttons.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I always
It doesn't
accidentally
even
get the
technically
big
have
one.
a start.
no.
Yeah,
choose
not
button.
properly.
The
no.
share button and the touchpad, which always comes up in games as the
Yeah,
the grid
essentially.
thing.
Yeah.
The grid thing.
And the PS3
reminds
obviously had
me,
those analog triggers. Sorry.
Yeah, I hate it. I
Yeah,
didn't like those.
while we're going on about the best, about the worst, because for me, I think the PS3 controller might be up there as well.
Oh,
I really didn't like that one. Yeah.
It's
Oh, for best
terrible.
controllers?
No,
My-
it's
Oh, worst
my
controllers.
my least favorite, just because it destroyed my thumbs when I was a child, was the Master System.
I was about to say Master
Yeah,
System. Yeah.
my
Nah.
thumbs were just a
Not
mess.
That D-pad
Just 'cause
is
of that
really weird on
D-pad.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that D-pad's really bizarre.
You know, I think my worst
Thinking with that.
would probably be the Nintendo 64 controller,
That's not great. They don't
What
hold
is your
up well.
worst?
No.
and not because I don't know how to hold it, because I read the instructions for those controllers, so I know exactly how they work. The biggest
See what
offender
they were going
is
for, but-
easily the analog sticks.
Yes,
Mm.
yeah.
They
Analog
are
sticks
the
are trash.
worst designed analog sticks
It's-
I have
it's
ever
funny-
used.
It's funny you should mention that, because literally just last week I brought out the N64 because my son, thanks to memes, has become obsessed with Super Mario 64. And I was like, I have this. And he was like, "Whoa."
Yeah.
So I got
You
the
know-
N64 out, and all my controllers have dodgy analog sticks. They've all broken.
Yeah.
You have to literally
The
break
dead
off thumb.
zone.
Yeah.
It's just like, you know what this is like? There's this episode of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles where Shredder and Krang build a giant robot that's completely impervious, and they run out of materials to make it, so they put a tiny little weak spot on its back, and Shredder's like, "No, Krang, we can't do that. My robot must have no weak spots." And Krang's like, "Oh, don't worry, no one's ever gonna notice." And then the Turtles find out and they exploit that weak spot. That weak spot is the analog stick on a Nintendo 64 controller.
You took the
Yeah.
long way round for that one.
Well, it's because people came up with like Nintendium. Because Nintendo,
Yeah, Nintendo.
they usually build their stuff to last.
That's
Those-
true.
Those things could have a
Except for the analog
bulldozer
sticks.
run
God.
over them, and they'll
I'll
still
never
work fine.
forget. I'll never forget.
And then
when
the one time they slipped up before the drifting issue with the Joy-Cons that we suffer through today
yeah.
was those goddamn analog sticks on the Nintendo 64.
Talking
Yeah.
about Nintendo, what is it? Nintendanium.
Nintendium.
Yeah.
Nintendium.
Yeah, it's like adamantium, you know, what like Wolverine's claws in X-Men.
Yeah. Well, there's a great little story when I first went to sixth form, basically college. The first year I went there was the first year not the 3DS, sorry, the DS came out. And my friend was all happy. He came for the midnight launch, and he turned up at the college the next day. And I was walking up the stairs with him, and we had these old school like stone stairs with metal railings.
Oh, I remember
And
this
it's-
story.
This is I think, did you meet Chris? Rick?
Oh, I thought
weird,
it was,
weird friend of mine.
I might have been. I thought it was the thing with Terry. I don't know.
No.
Sorry.
And he was showing off. He was showing off. That he's got today, and he was like really smug about it. And he got to the third floor, and it fell out of his hand. fell down
Oh,
3
no.
flights of stairs while it was still
Oh,
open.
Oh no!
Crashed on the floor. He went running down, practically like not in tears, but he was basically
Sure.
hyperventilating. Came back up and it had one tiny dent on it, and it was fine.
Wow.
It had one tiny little dent.
Well,
It went fine all year.
On DS's
Actually, up there with the Game
I-
Boy.
yeah. The original
Well, that's
DS.
quite the bomb, yeah.
I think Iwata said that when they were designing the DS, he made them do this stress test where you had to drop it on the floor from shoulder level, and
Maybe
once
they
it
had
works,
a set of stone stairs, just like at your floor.
Yeah, this was
Like,
3
right,
stories.
yeah, and it had to.
throw them down the stairs and see if it survives.
This was 3 stories high, and it literally a tiny dent, and he was fine. He was just like, "Oh, that's annoying." Anyway,
Basically,
Wow.
yeah.
Someone did throw
Not to Of course, all of that pales to that one Game Boy that survived those explosions
yeah.
during the Gulf War.
Yeah,
Not
we saw that
yeah.
in New York.
Yeah.
nice.
It's I think it's
What
still
you
on
trying to say,
display
Andrew?
there right now. It still works.
Yeah.
it's still. Someone did actually throw. I wouldn't say from the top of the Eiffel Tower a switch
Yeah.
down to the floor and
Did that
survived.
survive? Hey,
What?
The only thing that was
I bet
like,
they
From
do
the Eiffel Tower?
yeah,
A switch?
yeah. On the first week
Oh
that it
my
was released,
god!
yeah.
I threw,
Yeah, I
I threw
remember
a
that
couple of
coming out.
pennies off of there.
See, I accidentally threw one of my glass and that broke the L button until I popped it open and cleaned
Oh
it
god.
out.
Yeah, the only damage
Yeah,
that
but-
it sustained was basically the Joy-Con absorbed all the shock of the drop, as it were.
Oh, so it landed
Uh,
right
just-
on the Joy-Con.
Yeah, so it snapped off, but they just plugged in another Joy-Con and it worked fine.
Hey, Nintendo.
Yeah.
See,
I mean-
in terms of like favourite, most comfortable controller, the Joy-Con, I would actually maybe put the Joy-Cons on that list.
Yeah,
Like,
I think
favourites. Because
do.
having the 2 controllers and just being able to position yourself, like have your hand in any like place you want.
Oh, I do that. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Just
That
like
is
my arms behind
easily-
my back.
It's an evolution of the Wii Remote and Nunchuck, which is also just.
Yeah, and I've been
Yeah.
telling people the way that works with the Wii Remote, where you can turn it to its side and it's an NES controller. I always thought that was one of Nintendo's most genius
It was
controller
brilliant.
designs.
Oh, without
I
a
love
doubt.
the
Yeah.
Wii Remote was absolutely brilliant. I love the
Yeah.
Wii Remote. I thought it was. Other than
And
the
then
fact
they
that I had to
and
take
then they
batteries
essentially
and
did the
puzzles.
same thing with the Joy-Con, and
Yeah.
it works
Mm.
so well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they've added more buttons. Now it's like a mini Super Nintendo controller with an analog stick instead of a D-pad.
That's a
Yeah.
good point. Yeah.
I know
Yeah,
a
what's
lot of
coming
people.
next, don't you?
I know a lot of people don't like. I know a lot of
No.
people don't like the buttons. You know, the fact
I love
that they
it.
don't have a traditional D-pad. But
I
for
love
Yeah.
it.
for certain games, it's a bit of a pain. Like if you're trying to play something like Street Fighter, it can actually be a bit painful. Like I tried to play Dragon Ball Fighter C with the Joy-Cons, and I ended up using the Joy controller. The D buttons are just no good for games like that. But for stuff like Tetris and for like puzzle games, they're absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
Anything.
For most other games.
Oh yeah. You know what?
Yeah.
All those Konami shooters I was talking about before, I was
Mm.
playing them mostly with the D-pad and I made it work.
I love it. I love the
Yeah.
D-pad.
Yeah.
the little D buttons. Yeah.
So do
just
I,
think
yeah.
With certain games, it just makes them.
It's like a hitbox, really. You know those hitbox controllers that people
Yeah.
make.
Oh yes, yeah, like them GameCube ones where it's just like a big arcade.
Oh, what
loads
what
of-
those hitbox arcade controllers people made
Yes.
up for Smash Brothers Melee?
Yep.
Yes, the ones that are just like a load of arcade buttons, and they just know which one's which. I presume.
Because
I've
technically
seen
speaking, there's no
someone-
error.
I've
In
seen
your-
someone use one of those things at a convention before. It is
Mm.
Oh,
weird.
Yeah, they're bizarre. I presume you have to really rewire your brain.
You
on
do,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Every C button direction and every analog stick movement is a button.
Yeah.
So, and
Well,
they're
you
not
know
like
what?
marked in any particular way, so they're just kind of like laid out in some kind of fashion that makes their hands so they can easily.
Well, they move the
Quick.
up button down with your your normal inputs, your punches and your kicks. So
Huh.
it's like you've got the 3 normal directions, like crouch, left and right, and then jump is near thingy. So it's like in a way it kind of works out to make more sense, I guess. A bit Smash
Okay.
Brothers like. But I
Yeah.
think my favorite controller probably will be Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
I think like a lot of people say PS2 is just like direct evolution of that. I don't 100% agree with that.
No,
I-
I don't think the D-pads.
No,
Well, you know what?
But
no, I feel
You know
like
what? The PlayStation controller was such a what's that word? It was such a
Game changer.
damn it, I can't remember the word. All right, just go back to talking to the about the
Oh, yeah.
Super Nintendo controller.
basically a PS2 controller has, or PS1 controller has these little handles which are good, but it changes the frame of your hands, and that
Yes.
is not objectively better, it's subjectively better.
Mm.
So
yes, I know.
yeah.
I totally get what you mean.
and as for worst, Amstrad GX 4000.
Oh,
Oh,
Why?
I haven't
Why do you
even
must
said
remind me of
what
it?
would be the worst for me out of the ones I've used, the official ones, Amiga CD32.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
What
yeah.
the ever living feck is that controller? Is the D-pad?
I don't
is
even
like
remember what.
it's horrible. Basically,
looks upside
the
down.
D-pad is like a metal disc, and you just can't feel any of the directions on it whatsoever. It's just a disc that's very crudely glued onto the controller, and it's like you can't even feel what direction you're doing. You're just pushing this
Oh,
disc
good
around.
lord!
And yeah, and
It was the original boomerang controller.
Yeah, this
Oh,
thing
yeah.
is horrible. It's absolutely.
Oh yeah. I know.
I mean, the main face buttons are fine. The triggers are fine, but the actual shape, like there's no comfort to whatsoever. That actually makes the D-pad look better than it actually feels. But the D-pad, it's like slanted as well. So it's kind of like at an angle, really bizarre. And like the buttons' names make no sense as well. And also, oh yeah, there you go. That's much better.
Is that
I've
the,
got a third party Amiga CD32 that's basically a Mega Drive controller.
Oh, is that the Competition Pro one?
Yeah, we'll probably wrap this up soon. But
Yeah.
yeah. And the other thing with the Amiga CD, most games, almost 99% of the games, don't use most of the buttons. They only use one button because they're a direct port of Amiga. Because Amiga games, most of the time, were one button games, or if you're lucky.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
God,
You're
imagine
right.
playing sensible soccer on. Oh,
Yeah, exactly. That's most of the games that were ported to the CD32. They did absolutely nothing to them. They just chucked them on a disc and called it a day. So they didn't take advantage of those buttons. I think the only game I can think of that actually took advantage of those buttons was Fury of the Furries, which is a pretty cool little like.
That's got
physics
amazing
puzzle platform.
music. That game.
Yeah,
Fury
that
of the
game.
Furries.
Yeah, not what it sounds like.
don't read into it.
And be careful. Be careful when googling it.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe when you do Google it, just put CD32 or something.
Or Amiga. But basically, that game, it uses each colour to change which character you're using. So, like, because the characters are actually green, yellow, red, and blue, I think. So when you like press that button, I think you use the red button to do the general action of the character. But if you press any of them 4 buttons twice, it'll change to that character.
Oh, that's cool.
So it worked out pretty nice. But that is literally the only CD32 game I can think of actually uses every button. Every other game I played just uses one. It's like, point. Garbage, just utter garbage. As for best controller for me, it's gonna have to be Sega Saturn. I'm sorry, but
That's fair.
that D-pad,
That's a
Sega
good controller.
Saturn's way up there.
that D-pad is just the best feeling thing ever. It's like the specific kind of plastic it uses. I don't know why. It just feels perfect. It's
It is
so
a
good.
nifty
It's
pad.
so good for like fighting games. It's perfect for
The
pretty
right
much
amount of
every-
squishy.
Yeah, definitely. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. The only thing with those replica you can get now, the shoulder buttons are not the same. Like the ones on the Saturn, they got this really satisfying sort of like micro switchiness to them. But the
They
new
do,
ones, they
they
just
do.
all go clonk, clonk. The old ones are like proper like micro switch. Like
I don't feel like I'm
you know
actually
s-
pressing something on them. On the
You know what though? On that 2.4 gigahertz retrobit Saturn controller that I have, they actually do have the clicky micro switches in the shoulder buttons.
They do, yeah. And
I
the
love
D-pad, on
Yeah.
the controller, exact. It's like exact
And
with the Saturn one.
That's the thing
But
I
I
like
have-
about the Xbox One controller is that D-pad is really satisfying.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
In terms of
Microsoft went from having
Yeah,
one of
the
the worst
horrible
D-pads in the
360,
world to having quite a serviceable D-pad with
Yeah.
the
I
later
honestly
360
think the
controllers
Xbox-
and the Xbox One.
Yeah.
The Xbox One controller is extremely comfortable.
Yeah.
It's a
nice.
massive improvement.
That was going
I
to
can
be my
see
pick
why the
for-
PS5 one sort of.
I love playing Spelunky on that clicky D-pad.
It is such a
The
nice
D-pad's
controller.
lovely.
I don't have an Xbox One, but I bought one to use on my computer, and it is really nice.
Yeah.
I guess if we're going into handhelds, I guess the only other controller.
Neo Geo
Your
Pocket
favourite-
Color.
Yeah, you got it.
Yep.
That micro switched sort of analog stick stroke D-pad thing is a work of absolute beauty. I love that thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
what, the-
Why no
Oh.
one has
Yeah, micro.
replicated? Why no one has ever replicated that? I want a Joy-Con that has one of those instead of an analog stick.
Yeah,
SNK won't even do that anymore because when they did that Neo Geo Mini controller, even though it's based on the Neo Geo CD controller, which had the same design, they just made it no different from an analog stick.
sad.
Mm.
Sad.
Yeah, it's really bad. Like they can't replicate that. No one has been able to beautiful Neo Geo Pocket stick.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredibly noisy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, but you know what? I do have a
Alright,
PDP fighting game controller for Xbox 360, which does have that clicky thumb thing.
Really?
The
Oh, nice.
exact same one that
Oh.
SNK used to do.
Is that?
But like if a cheap third-party controller manufacturer like PDP could do it, why can't SNK do
Is
it?
that PC compatible? Do you know?
No,
how-
this is an Xbox 360 controller I'm talking about.
Yeah, but 360 controllers can work on PCs.
Is it not a wired,
Yeah, yeah.
one?
Yeah. So it does also work on PC by
Oh,
virtue of it being a
Okay,
360
you
controller.
You might have to link me.
Yeah, link in the
That
chat
one.
if you get a chance.
Sorry, I might want
All right. I'll look for it now.
Yeah, okay.
So,
a good place to wrap up.
I think so,
Mhm.
yeah. We've reached that 2-hour mark now.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
I think that's a
Oh
nice,
yeah, we're at 2 hours now.
I think that's a nice, round number.
Yeah.
So we've
We
got.
did a
we've
little
got
better
two
than
headphones,
last time, I guess.
like,
Yeah.
disconnected.
Very sensitive.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that was a good little chat. Did everyone get to say what their favourite and least favourite was? Or we just
I didn't, but I don't want to be
Chat.
controversial.
Oh, okay, go for it.
Best one is my Xbox One Elite controller. Not because
Oh,
it's so
nice.
expensive, but it is really good controller.
Yeah,
The controversial bit, Dreamcast controller. It just
Oh, I-
doesn't.
Not
doesn't
that
fit my hands.
controversial. Not that controversial.
No,
That-
not as much as
Yeah.
you think.
Oh yeah.
That
I don't-
controller is
I
pretty bad.
Really
Yep.
don't
D-pad
like
is
the analog.
The analog stick literally gave me blisters when I was playing Crazy Taxi the first time. I
Yeah.
literally got blisters from that controller.
I
It's the only
had a
controller
thing
to
where
ever
it
give
dug
me-
into my thumb. Yeah, because
Yes.
I used
The
to
D-pad.
push forwards on it. Yeah, the analog stick. I used to dig
Yes.
into my. I guess I used to have to
It's
use.
got really hard, nasty little lumps.
Yeah.
on top
Oh,
of
yeah,
it.
like a
Right
baby
with the
cat
master.
tongue.
Yeah, yeah. I don't blame you. I actually have.
I guess I'm just
for the
thumbs
Dreamcast.
heavy.
Oh, I definitely am sometimes with them games as well. But yeah, in the case of the Dreamcast, I do actually have a Saturn adapter, and I use that more than I use actual Dreamcast controllers. So I am actually looking forward to that 8-bit DOE or that the retro bit
Retro
what
bit.
is
Dreamcast
that?
controller, because that might actually be a fantastic. Oh, there it is. Yeah.
I've
wow.
seen those before.
Oh, it does kind of look like the Neo Geo Pocket one.
Oh.
Yeah.
I might
They
have
also
to-
made this for PlayStation 3 as well.
Cool.
Ah,
They don't make
okay.
them anymore,
I'll have to
but
look
they
for that.
really should.
Mm.
Ah, okay. Alright,
Excellent.
yeah. Well, as I
Okay.
say, we should probably wrap this up now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I hope everyone at home is, coping well during these times, and
Mhm.
yeah, keeping yourselves occupied and all that.
Yes,
I hope
yeah.
you're all washing your hands.
Here we go
Oh,
again.
I do that. I'll do
Wash
that.
everything. Just get it all done.
I think everyone knows.
Take
by
a
now.
damn shower.
That's been a week.
Has been a
And,
week. You've got time.
And yeah, I suppose we'll see you all next week.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, if we can keep this going weekly, that.
But yeah, next time we can talk about our other favourite things.
Yeah.
Yes.
Favorite
We can also talk-
sandwich.
Favorite pudding.
We can talk about all the things we hate and things we love.
That's just every day.
We'll make this podcast 100 in no time.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
also
I'd
just
love to
now
see that.
realizing. I'm also just now realizing I could have described the analog stick on the Nintendo 64 controller as like its Achilles heel.
Yeah,
And that would have gotten
That would have been a lot.
That would
quicker
have
than
gotten it
Ninja
across a lot more easily.
Turtles. Like that episode of Ninja Turtles. Right. So I've been the Gagaman.
I've been Terrier.
I've been Murry Curry.
I've been SlevedGamer.
I've been Hunk Thunder.
And I'm Big Elk.
Excellent.
With a big loud voice. Sometimes.
And a big heart.
I actually do have a naturally loud voice that I always got to keep under control.
It's all right,
Hey!
It's all right,
Cat just got the Russian building in Sabara City.
I heard that. I just heard it.
Well timed.
There's a little Tetris Easter egg in Sabara City. It's really cute.
Yeah, one of the
Yeah.
buildings turns into like the. Is that the
Like the
Kremlin?
St. Basil Cathedral.
Oh,
Yeah.
St. Basil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
And when you get it, it plays a little Tetris jingle.
I love
Yeah,
that.
that's
so
cute.
cool. Right, so we will be off then. We will
Yeah,
see.
I'm going to go play that game now. So
Oh, tell me how you get on with it, because my God.
Beware.
Yeah.
Try not playing
And-
it for a while.
And I'm
Fair
gonna
enough.
go do Big Elk things.
like washing his
Reach out.
hands.
Like washing my
Washing his
hands.
big elk hands.
Yeah, but
And
no
washing
walking
my
through the
big elk.
woods.
And washing my big elk antlers.
Just stay out of the woods, all right? You're not allowed.
Right, we will see you later. Goodbye.
Bye.
Have a great week.
And you.
Love you all.